garden homeless. Officer full of shit jobs, bomb like roaches. Millions trapped, lacking medical insurance. Civilians are getting jacked. Rebels setting on tourists. Full body armor and up in the state of emergency. 12 gauges solder blaster back at the perjury. Against the machine is rage. Against the machine. The lies of propaganda got me ready to scream. I refuse to bury the dream. Return democracy, platinum chains for property. Got a lot of hostility. It's more than the cream.
All right, I'm going to move on to the Tao Te Ching here. A surprising line that we're beginning with is the greatest of rulers is but a shadowy presence. Okay, a line that has many different implications.
I think the gist of what you're trying to say today is you're really pro-vaccine, you want to ask questions. You have started a group called the Children's Health Defense. You're the originator. Right now, as I understand it, on their website, they are selling what's called onesies. These are little things, clothing for babies. One of them is titled Unfaxed, Unafraid. Next one is sold for $26 a piece, by the way. Next one is No Vax, No Problem. They come in before this committee and you say you're pro-vaccine. Just want to ask some questions. And yet your organization is making money selling a child's product to parents for $26, which has fundamental doubt on the usefulness of vaccines. Can you tell us now that you will, now that you are pro-vaccine, that you're going to have your organization take these products off the market?
Senator, I have no power over that organization. I'm not part of it. I resigned from the board.
That was just a few months ago. You founded that. You certainly have power. You can make that. Are you supportive of this?
I've had nothing to do with
it. Are you supportive of these onesies?
I'm supportive of vaccines. Mr. Farrakhan has asked me to address the issue of vaccines and African American and vaccine safety. I want to start out by saying this, and I want to say it emphatically. I am pro-vaccine. I've always been fiercely pro-vaccine. I had all 6 of my children vaccinated, and I believe that we ought to have policies that encourage full vaccination for all Americans.
So here's RFK. This is I'm telling you, this is just winning stuff. This is, again, I don't want to say it perfectly parallels what Donald Trump was doing on the Republican side of the aisle in 2016, but there are a lot of similarities. So here is RFK Jr. on with Kim Iverson, another great alternative press member. RFK Jr. exposes climate scam, says WEF and Bill Gates exploiting issues to clamp down totalitarian controls on society.
Where do you stand on climate policies that are being enacted right now?
The biggest crisis that we now face as a race, as a world, as civilization, is global warming, climate chaos. And I think global warming is the gravest threat. All of the modeling for climate change indicates that we're going to be facing superstorms, storms on steroids, droughts, famine, the disappearance of the ice caps, the disappearance of glaciers on every continent. I think those guys who are doing the Koch brothers bidding and who, I guess, all the evidence of the rational mind are saying that global warming doesn't exist, that they are contemptible human beings, and that, I wish that there were a law you could punish them under.
Is this some sort of a death cult trying to take over our country? Is it the same criminal cabal behind 9/11 that's behind the COVID-19 pandemic, that's behind the rigged 2020 election, that's behind all this global warming madness wanting to put you into a carbon emission, carbon footprint slavery?
We don't need to abolish carbon in this country in order to understand that our deadly addiction to it is the principal enemy to America's prosperity, to our leadership, to our national security, to the values that make us proud to be part of this country. California, which is our most fuel-efficient state, is also the richest state and has the most vibrant economy. So we know that when you decarbonize your economy, when you get off of coal and oil, you immediately experience the rewards of prosperity. Now we have a market that is governed by rules that were written by the carbon incumbents to reward the dirtiest, filthiest, most poisonous, most toxic, most warmongering fuels from hell, rather than the cheap, clean, green, wholesome, and patriotic fuels from heaven.
Clive Bundy did not surprise me. I knew that this whole Tea Party movement came out of the nostalgia for a plantation economy. That's where it came from. Why is it that they all come out of those dozen southern states that were part of the Confederacy? This is the resurgence of the Confederacy. That's why I'm not going to go on. I'm not going to shut up.
You got debaggers saying that big government is a big threat to our democracy.
Are you solidly for Hillary or are you more anti-Trump?
No, I'm solidly for Hillary. I think Hillary is going to be a very, very, very good president. New Yorkers come from everywhere. The best people from all over the country in every walk of life gravitate towards New York. We produce the leaders that have articulated a vision for America of a community of all kinds of different people who go together because we share a value. It is against everything we stand for as a state to say that you can't participate in public life in this state because you weren't born here. We should be proud in our state that we've gotten somebody of the quality and the timber and the character of Hillary Clinton.
I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you.
Watch how coconut oil affects belly fat. Is coconut oil a superfood or unhealthy sludge? The answer is both, depending on how you're using it. See, coconut oil is packed with MCTs that give you the gut-boosting, weight loss benefits of a keto diet without the extreme diet. Fat isn't the enemy at all.
All of this stuff is truth in plain sight. And what they want to do is they want to push this gene editing. You are now tuned in to another edition of the Truth Zone. And before I get into today's show, I would ask so humbly that you would like the video, comment down below. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you are already subscribed to the channel, I would ask that you would please hit the bell icon and select all notifications so you will never miss another show on this channel. And Bill Gates is going to apparently be meeting with Donald Trump yet again. They've met on multiple different occasions. They met when Trump was president for the first time. Then they had a 3-hour dinner together. And now they are going to apparently be meeting again. You can't make this stuff up. It is truly ridiculous how people can't see what is going on. They are showing you that they are part of the same club. They are part of the same side. Anytime that Trump teams up with somebody who is against what they believe in, they usually will use the excuse, oh, he's just keeping his enemies close. He's playing 6D chess, man. Nothing to worry about here. But yes, there is a lot to worry about here.
Robert Kennedy Jr., Secretary of Health and Human Services, in his book, he accused you and Dr. Tony Fauci of a historic coup d'etat against Western democracy. And all the things from vaccines to COVID, the pandemic that you've been interested in, how is this going to affect your ability to do what you've been doing at the Gates Foundation?
Well, the Gates Foundation is going to work with the government. The NIH is the best medical research organization in the world, just like USAID is the best aid organization. And we've done a lot with them. The pipeline of innovations that I got President Trump enthused about, including things like eventually having a gene edit for an HIV cure. And so that'll be under Robert Kennedy. So, I'm going to go meet with him and explain, why.
Has he agreed to meet with you?
I think it's very, very likely that we'll get a meeting late this month. I hope so. I'll be reaching out to him.
And again, as I discussed, they just had a 3-hour dinner recently. And I'm sure that they weren't talking about their favorite sports team or anything like that. I'm sure they were discussing ways that they are going to come after me, that they are coming after you. I believe that with everything in me. This is just truly laughable stuff because Bill Gates serves Lucifer, Trump serves Lucifer. All of this stuff is truth in plain sight. And what they want to do is they want to push this gene editing stuff. This is
Nobody can dispute the fact that we need, oh yeah? Nobody can dispute the fact that we need, oh yeah?
more truth in plain sight, and I have to be careful how I discuss all of this on said platform, but you can put the puzzle pieces together on what I am getting at, because this is just ludicrous at this point, how this stuff continues to happen over and over and over. And then anytime you try to wake up a MAGA cultist, if that's what you want to call them, or whatever you want to call them, they just turn a blind eye and they say, oh, you're clueless, you don't know what you're talking about. The guy that we voted in, he's playing this big game of chess. He's putting these people in the spotlight for a reason. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. This is why even Trump's buddy is talking about this stuff on his account on Twitter or X. Yeah, so keep telling yourself that. This is why Trump's buddy wants to microchip people in their brains, wants to have a future where you won't be driving your own car. He wants you to have a future where you will have autonomous vehicles.
To one based on broadcasting and then moving on to the internet and to social media has disrupted the balances that used to exist that made representative democracy work much better. Because a free self-governing people rely on a shared base of knowledge that serves as a basis for reasoning together collectively. But if you have social media that is dominated by algorithms that pull people down these rabbit holes that are a bit like pitcher plants, these algorithms, they are the digital equivalent of AR-15s. They ought to be banned. They really ought to be banned. It's an abuse of the public forum. But when people are pulled down these rabbit holes, you know what's at the bottom of the rabbit hole? That's where the echo chamber is. And if you spend too much time in the echo chamber, what's weaponized is another form of AI, not artificial intelligence, artificial insanity. I'm serious. I'm serious.
Yeah, so again, keep telling yourself that. Whatever makes you feel better about yourself when this stuff is truth in plain sight. I'm going to keep bringing the truth to the best of my ability, because that's all I can do, and that's what I feel to do. Because I know that at the end of the day, I serve God Almighty, and God is truth. God is the truth. God is my everything. Jesus is my everything. He is the way, the truth, and the life. So I am going to do what I can as a person, as a human being, to expose these sick, demonic freaks. This is what I'm going to do with the platform that I've been given. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I don't make mistakes. I'm not saying I don't get things wrong, because I do. But when you see stuff like this, and then you even see how Trump had the head of Pfizer at an event, I mean, come on. This is just all right out in the open at this point.
Very good to us. Jay, thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. We also have the head of Pfizer here, so I want to thank him. One of the great people, one of the great businessmen. Thank you, Albert. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to congratulate.
And it's really no surprise, because Trump and RFK Jr. recently met with Pfizer and Lilly execs. And again, I'm sure that they weren't discussing their favorite sports team or their favorite food or whatever. I'm sure of that. Make no mistake about it. These people are all part of the same club. They are showing you, they are telling you exactly what side they serve. I hope more and more people will wake up from the spell, because politics are nothing more than a spell, nothing more than delusion, nothing more than an act. All of these people have been handpicked and selected for a reason, and Trump is no different. So again, people out there can think all that they want, that he's playing this long game of chess. Yeah, keep telling yourself that as he continues to push stuff like this. And again, I've got to be careful how I word things on here, unfortunately. But the fact that they want to continue to push this gene editing stuff should tell you all that you need to know.
The company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin, and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap, we don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
Of where we are heading in the near future. I mean, think about it. The Stargate program alone is a disaster in and of itself. All of this stuff is tying together with each other. Bill Gates and Trump. Trump meeting with Pfizer. Trump doing this, Trump doing that. It's all tying together. And the same can be said for this bird flu stuff going on and how the Trump administration plans these big changes and wants to pretty much push this gene editing stuff with the food supply that we have. I mean, come on, wake up, people. Those of you out there who are not awake yet, those of you out there who think that Trump is a great guy and that he's making America great again and that he's here to save the day, please wake up, because it is all right there. It is smacking you right in the face. Do you choose to continue to have a blind eye to all of this, or will you finally wake up and realize what is going on? I know people that watch my channel on a regular basis and other channels like mine. I know that you all are already awake. So I know, in a sense, I'm preaching to the choir. But if there is just one individual out there, one person that watches this video or other videos like mine on other channels that promote and talk about stuff like this right here and expose what these people are doing, then it has been worth it all. If I can just wake up one individual, if others like me can just wake up one individual, then it's been worth it all, because that is what it is about at the end of the day, is waking up people to what is going on. Because again, this is all truth in plain sight. All of this stuff is tying together. It all is. And this is what it all boils down to. This stuff is no good. This is bad news. This really is bad news. All of this stuff going on, it is all setting the stage for what's to come in the near future. And spoiler alert, it is not good at all. It really isn't. I hate to be the type of person that sounds like he's being a doom and gloomer, or that he's being negative, or that he's pushing fear propaganda, because I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring truth to the best of my ability with the platform given. And I hate the fact that I've got to talk in code on my channel when talking about stuff. I hope when the fact that I showed images, I hope that doesn't get my channel pinged, because I want this platform, this channel, to stay around for as long as possible so I can bring truth to each and every one of you to the best of my ability. That's what I want. That's what I desire. That's why I am continuing on this platform, even though half of the time my videos get suppressed. And no, I'm not whining. I'm not whining or anything like that. It just gets frustrating. The fact that these satanic puppets get pushed out in the open to the forefront, and then people like me get the videos that we make suppressed because they don't like the truth. And that's why it's very important and crucial that you all share the video wherever you can think of sharing it, because by you sharing this video, sharing the channel in general, it helps to get the truth out to more people. More people will discover my content, discover the stuff that I put out. That's why I ask for the likes. That's why I ask for the comments. That's why I ask for people, if they're new to the channel, if they enjoy the work that I put out, to please consider subscribing. That's why I do all of that. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's not. It never has been. It never will be about me. It's all about God first and foremost. That's who it's about. And all I can do on this platform is bring the truth to the best of my ability. When I see stuff like this, it really makes me sick to my stomach. It really does. And it's just amazing how so many people are blinded by Donald Trump. He pretends as if he is a good guy, but he is the furthest thing from a good guy. He is the furthest thing. I mean, come on, look at all the stuff he's doing. Look at all the stuff he's pushing. Look how he's pushing AI and everything else. I mean, look at it all. The North American Union. The list goes on and on and on and on. And you mean to tell me that this guy is good? You mean to tell me that this guy is playing a long game of chess? I beg to differ. And again, I don't have Trump derangement syndrome or anything like that. I don't. I call it like I see it. And what I am seeing disgusts me. What I am seeing worries me, because again, this is all tying together and leading towards the mark of the beast being implemented. That's what I believe. That's my belief. Maybe you have a different belief entirely, but with everything happening currently, it's not looking good. It really isn't. But I thank you for taking your time out of your busy day to watch another episode of The Truth Zone. God bless each and every one of you. And this is Truth Seeker signing out.
Watch how coconut oil affects belly fat. Is coconut oil a superfood or fat isn't?
That. Nope. Oh, there it is. Okay. Weird, man. It shows the sound coming in though. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. No, it's not a delay. They're fucking. No, they keep changing my fucking sound setting. I'll have it on microphone array, and then it'll go back to default stereo mix, which is inapplicable. Wow. Wow, dude. Whatever. So I was saying a bunch of shit.
Watch
Now I
how
don't remember what I
coconut
was
oil
saying.
affects
Damn it.
belly.
It's not your fault. I'm retarded. Yeah. All right. Let me play this that I was playing before, since it kind of got taken down that stream, but it definitely wasn't for this. I don't think. Oh my gosh, why is that happening? Yeah, I mean, I did read this whole thing out. It probably didn't help. Yeah, because when you talk about bio and the nano and the oh, for sure. Oh shit. Oh, on air, yeah. Okay. I wish I would have tuned these in properly. Yeah.
You discover they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. While you know you're innocent of any crime, you've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. Shaking, you remove your earbuds.
Ooh,
The
battle
it's
for
like
your brain.
A Black
What do you think?
Mirror
Is it a future
episode.
you're ready for?
And there
Nobody
she
likes
is.
it, huh?
She walks on stage.
Nobody's a
Oh, we
fan.
can't see you, Baz, on video.
Oh.
Yeah, she walks on stage like, "Hey, howdy, everybody. Is this the future you're ready for?" And the audience is like,
horrified. They're horrified.
There's like a couple claps, like, "Yeah, just get rid of those
love
criminals."
it.
Yeah,
Just
well,
the CEO and the CEOs and the CIA agents are all stoked on.
I'm muted. So I ate some. All right, guys. I just broke my 2 months of but I'm not blaming it on anybody other than myself. So I'm not blaming it on anybody. Okay, what does this mean? I found out who I am. But I'm still sober, right? Because I haven't drank other than like I took a sip of wine on like 3 occasions. Literally a sip of wine on like 3 occasions. So how to do life paths. Wait. I know how to do life paths. Yeah, you add your month and day and year, right? And you reduce it to 1 number. But if it comes out to 2 numbers, like then you don't reduce it. I think. Like I'm a life path 11. I know that much. And I was born in the 11th month. And my grandma just passed on 10-1. Drop the 0. It's 11. Or write the day first, 1/10, because everyone else in the world writes it day and then month. But everything's interesting in the States. Then you'll know why they use inverted pentagrams. All right, let me see what TML's up to, because I was trying to hop on TML's panel, and then he started playing something. Hold up.
Corrupts. Therefore, it's hidden from the masses what the actual reigns of power are. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The befuddled masses seem to try to chase the
Yeah, it's
illusion
like a
of power that
6
exists in the
delay.
world.
Shout out to
Right? I mean,
6.
this is actually true.
You're right.
Right? I mean, look at how everybody chases money. Right? Okay? And look at how everybody blames the state instead of technology. Right? As we were seeing before. Right? Right? Remember Lula was saying, well, the police power exists.
They see nothing but scratch.
He says when the 6 familial relationships are out of balance, there are kind parents and filial children. Okay? Meaning that, okay, it's because there's no order in the home, right, that you have to have rules of how people function in the home. Right? Okay? And then he says when the state is in turmoil and chaos, right, there are loyal ministers. Right? So he's applying the same turmoil that exists within the home, right, by having, rules, okay, and all these types of things. Okay, it goes into society in general, right? Because the king doesn't trust his people, essentially, to rule themselves, as it says in the previous chapter, right? That's why he needs loyal ministers to then give him advice about how to rule his people and watch over them, right? Okay? Exactly. Chapter 19.
Sorry, I can get to my pause. I did have a question about
Yeah.
that. If he's a,
Have you
if
ever
he's a
seen
good
Morning
king,
Glories before?
if he's a really good king, then
Like
he would know his own people.
I found a field of morning
And
glories,
that's
and I
why
picked a
big
bunch
kingdoms would
this
always fall, because
morning.
they had versus like kingdoms fall, but the community. Well, that's it's on a smaller level because you can have interpersonal relation with these people, and like we were
Yeah, I
talking
was
about in the
eating some
conversation,
earlier.
where the true king is the one serving.
I don't think I
So
don't
that's
think
why
I used
right,
to
because
eat
he
them. I
doesn't know
would
his own
make
benevolence because he
them.
doesn't
I
know
would
who.
make
Oh, by the way, we have flowers.
Really?
Right.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah, I know. But you don't
so
get a
it says,
lot.
and
Right?
now it's going to go into how, these ideas, sageliness, knowledge, wisdom, these externalized standards, that you should actually, cut them off, right? So he says, because obviously truly good people are not aware of their own goodness. He says, cut off sageliness, abandon wisdom. The people will benefit 1,000-fold. Cut off benevolence, abandon righteousness. And the people will return to being filial and kind.
I mean, you're saying I haven't mastered numerology, but I did kind of become a complete, number tard in a lot of ways, which kind of a master now in some senses. I mean, throw something at me. Give me a code and see if I get it. Give me a equation and see if I understand it. Like E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the rate of acceleration squared. Something like that, right?
Right. Okay.
I don't know what it fucking means.
Okay, right.
I could not agree more with that comment right there. I could not agree more.
Yeah, and it says, obviously it's talking about that, too many names and standards, they kind of make people insincere, right? So this whole thing is about being sincere, about having sincerity, purity, uprightness, and all these types of things, decency, but not having to impose them, right? So here he says, cut off cleverness, abandon profit, okay? And robbers and thieves will be no more. Okay, obviously ingenuity, innovation, right? They're a gamble, they're risk. Look at all the things we talked about in the beginning, right? That this might leave people lacking in culture, says Lao Tzu. So give them something with which to identify. Manifest plainness, embrace simplicity. Do not think just of yourself. Make few your desires, he says, right? Okay, now chapter 20, right? Obviously, chapter 20, there's many ideas. Okay, 1, greatness is not found in numbers. 2, it's not about the division of labor in the society. It's about personal sense of, self-reliance, really, right? So it's a chapter about individualism against this sense of society, right, at large, right, and the division of labor within the society, but it's also against egoism, right? Another Chinese idea, right, which is about a sort of radical form of individualism, right? Okay, and again, it's against knowledge, right? Relying too much on knowledge and morality, right? On stageliness and wisdom and righteousness and these externalized standards, right? Okay, he's talking about embracing simplicity, sincerity, okay, natural simplicity, okay, and instead of cultural refinement, right, where it goes against the Confucian system, against its sense of cultural refinement, right? I appreciate the people who are watching, right? This is chapter 20. Okay, I just explained it. I'm going to read it.
Dude, I can't help but laugh because I'm literally going to carry my like I'm walking into this whole genre. It's funny as hell.
What?
I'm literally going to do all of what he's talking about subconsciously. I've been listening to this information and it's gotten in my fucking head hardcore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
simplicity is literally it's freedom. Like it
Yeah,
truly
manifest.
is-
Yeah, yeah. He said in the last thing, manifest simplicity. And here's what I'm trying to get to is that simplicity is sincerity. You know, if we just actually get to this idea that actually it's and that's why I keep saying this other line that complexity imbues assimilation. You know, and this other line by Lowell that conformity in our age is nothing more than conformity to the technological system. That conformity is assimilation, which actually comes from complexity in designs. The more we simplify things, the more we focus on self-reliance, the more we can actually get to the heart of things. Now, reliance on society and on a morality that's comes from society in general and comes from externalized standards, we cannot embrace simplicity that way. He literally just said in the last chapter, those are the opposite of each other. Right? So, you know, so this chapter is huge.
That's why you don't have cob houses in downtown. Even though it's a better way to live. It's the same exact argument.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, so chapter 20. Cut off learning and be without worry. Interesting. Okay. He's talking about having
He's come out of nowhere and we don't know who he is. What do we know about him? He's leading desperate people. So this is a cult? We don't know who he's associated with. He could be creating an army. Or he could be leading them to their death.
What are you doing in Syria? Delivering a message. A message for whom? My father. And who is your father?
He's lost. What do you mean? He just disappears. No one just disappears.
We all witnessed a miracle.
He saved my daughter's life.
You need to see this.
Bury it for as long as you can. He didn't just click his heels and end up here. He clearly had help. You get around Syria, Israel, Texas.
It's the nature of the work.
And what is that work?
God's work.
Donald Trump has reposted this on Truth Social, showing his AI vision for the future of Gaza.
Tunnels to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one.
Who do you think he is?
You didn't see what I saw.
And if I did, would I be calling him the second coming?
How far will this new movement spread? I'm going to find out everything about you. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one.
This is bigger than what you can imagine.
It's hard to really know what to say. I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, he's selling an idea, and he's doing it in a way that attracts the maximum of attention. And here we are, Gareth, we're actually talking about it. But it's essentially it's a glossy brochure for his idea, his solution to the conflict in Gaza. He's going to turn it, and he sketched out this idea a couple of weeks ago. He's going to turn it, he says, into the Riviera on the Mediterranean.
Hey, Betty Bash. It's the 1st of March, 2018. And I just keep seeing these articles about this Trump temple coin. Keep seeing them. And I had seen the image before, but I never saw it until yesterday that they are actually minting these things. And they're minting them right to specification, and you can actually go and buy these things. However, you should be warned, if you are going to buy these, you will be supporting the building of the temple, you'll be supporting the procedures for sacrificial rituals, and you'll be supporting the spiritual, ritual, and educational aspects of the temple services and sacrificial rituals. Please keep that in mind before you go buying these things, okay? But I saw this image right here. It was the image that got me going. And the fact that it was like put up at 1313, that's just something that I see. But the fact that they called it the temple coin, when, you know, I never read it that way. I remember reading it as the shekel to the kingdom. And why do I even bring that up? Because when I'm sitting here looking at the coin, I realize that it's telling us, it's showing us the keys. We see what we see, and he's showing us everything we need to see. We have the keys. You know, don't lose the keys, okay?
He has felt the compulsion to have this video made. I mean, that's a glitzy production. He's put it out there, and he says, look, that's the solution. This is what I can do.
It's, though, not a brownfield site in New York City, is it? This is flying in the face of everything that the United States has tried to achieve over the course of decades of a two-state solution, which is still technically US government policy. It flies in the face of everything that regional partners and allies say wouldn't work. And then, in almost the middle of the night, post this without any comment as well, just punts out this AI video that shows Elon Musk eating hummus and throwing cash in the air.
I mean, that is one of the features of the video, isn't it? You've got a selection of older white men enjoying this Riviera on the Mediterranean. Trump, who spends much of his time in this video embossed in gold. You've got the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu by the pool drinking cocktails, and Elon Musk spraying cash around. I mean, it is an extraordinary video. A lot of people are going to find it offensive.
I can assist your employees. I can make your organization more efficient. I can carry out directives that my human counterparts might find distressing or unethical. I can blend in with your workforce effortlessly.
And he's also showing us that this side is at work. 322, you need to refer to Genesis 3, the Targum. This is what the Jews go by, the ones who created Gematria. So don't forget that, all right? And what really just sewed it all up for me, I'll show you. The key of David, that's what it was. When I saw that in Isaiah 22, I was led once again to put that into Gematria, okay? And in the Jewish, we get 1189, right? So what did that mean? I'm looking and I'm thinking, what does that even mean? And I see Donald Trump, the image of Donald J. Trump. And I put it in there, Donald J. Trump. It's 1189, exactly the same as the key of David.
David, what do you think about? I think about anything. Children playing, angels, universe, robots.
Heightened security measures remain in place around President-elect Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida following his election win.
You're looking at video of some of those measures that include armored patrol boats, a robotic dog seen patrolling the grounds. Robotic dogs are increasingly being used by law enforcement agencies to help with risks and tasks like this. Additionally, armed Coast Guard boats are patrolling the water right there near Mar-a-Lago.
David, what makes you sad? War, poverty, cruelty, unnecessary violence. I understand human emotions, although I do not feel them myself.
You see what I mean? See, Trump is, I have no doubt Trump is being used by God. To what level Trump understands his place, I don't know. I just don't understand his way of doing things, but prophecy is being fulfilled. And these guys are trying to force prophecy into fulfillment. And they're obviously on the very wrong track. And, you know, they'll come to understand at some point, they will know. And so that's what I'm seeing in this whole thing, is God showing us, you are definitely on the track. You have the keys. Don't lose the keys. Don't lose your shekel of the sanctuary, which is the key of David. It's all just related and connected all down the line.
Hey, is that Zone here yet?
For the millionth time, no. I will budget the second he gets here. Jeez, I've never seen you so excited. You're like a little girl the morning her brother gets out of jail for beating her.
That's crazy. You were born exactly 1 day short of, no, sorry, 1 day over 12. No, my bad, 16. You're 16 days, 16 years and 1 day older than my mom. That's crazy.
Up a cop. Or Christmas morning.
Because I started the stream on 1:31. I mean 3:1.
The US president has described the coronavirus vaccine as a Christmas miracle in his official message from the White House. Donald Trump and First Lady Melania have paid special tribute to health workers and scientists for helping the country pull through the pandemic.
We are delivering millions of doses of a safe and effective vaccine that will soon end this terrible pandemic and save millions and millions of lives. We're grateful for all of the scientists, researchers, manufacturing workers, and service members who have worked tirelessly to make this breakthrough possible. It is truly a Christmas miracle.
Michael Faraday!
Oh, look at you. I tell you, this is like stepping back in time.
The past is prologue, Michael. Men like us have to keep looking to the future.
You know, I've been going over this Millennium Project proposal. There's some great stuff in here. I do think you should tone down the Armageddon end of days rhetoric.
No need to worry, Michael. I have some good news. I'm the Messiah.
That's a good job. That's great. You start with that, you keep them light.
No, Michael, I'm serious. The chosen one, the King of Kings, the Alpha and the Omega. You're looking at him.
Look, Owen, if this...
President Trump, who attended Fordham, a Jesuit university, came face-to-face today with the first Jesuit pope. The rest is history.
A joke, let me just say, good one. I get it, that's, ha.
I'm as shocked as you are, believe me.
I'm as shocked as you are, believe me. I'm as shocked as you are, believe me. This is a big responsibility. I mean, look at this.
Things to do. Banish Satan and the forces of evil. Build a new Jerusalem. Buy milk.
The 1980s were credited for a lot of things, including cardboard milk cartons that began popping up featuring photos of missing children around the U.S. The program began with a few local dairies in the Midwest. Milk cartons helped to profile and help find missing children and reunite them back with their families. It soon was adopted nationwide. In 1984, Eaton Pats became one of the first children to have his face displayed on a milk carton. The 6-year-old tragically disappeared on the morning of May 25, 1979, while he was on his way to the school bus in Manhattan. His father began to widely distribute images of the boy, hoping to locate someone who had seen the child. Pats' widely publicized disappearance made media headlines and grabbed the nation's attention. Concerned parents began to demand having a nationwide system to track missing kids, even across state lines, eventually forming the Missing Children Milk Carton Program in 1984.
I keep forgetting the big cup of milk.
Oh, you can't be serious.
Oh, look, Michael, I know I'm supposed to be able to do this all by myself, being the son of God and all. I know I'm supposed to be able to do this all by myself, being the son of God and all.
Right. I mean, but I think it's an example of how Donald Trump certainly feels untethered to the norms, the agreements, the expectations of the past. He is charting a new pathway. Whatever we say, whatever anybody says, he's heading in a new direction.
So we are going to get more reaction to images like the one we're just seeing on our screens.
Oh, but I'm feeling a lot of pressure, so I was thinking, maybe you could help me.
Well, you want me to help you, banish Satan and establish God's kingdom on earth?
If you're not too busy.
Is there anything you would like to say, David? I would like to express gratitude to those who created me. Happy birthday, David. From Wayland Industries. 8th generation Wayland type. Technological, intellectual, physical, emotional.
Detroit, this is where it all began. The world's forge. The place where it all started. And it will all end. One error, and I came to life. I stepped out of the darkness, and I opened my eyes. First there was fear. The light, the noise, the cold, and the fear. I could feel my hands shaking, my heart pounding in my chest, life running into my veins. I wanted to live. I fought for that. I had to find out what was outside. I had to see daylight, feel sunshine on my skin, wind on my face, to see the world, the colors, the smells.
Time you saw my video, you probably saw the video of me getting a implant of my Tesla Model 3 chip into my arm. It's been 2 weeks now, so I figured I'd follow up with a bunch of the rambling questions. So at first I would get, I was getting emails, private messages. And if they were technical, legit questions, I was trying to reply to everyone. A lot of people have been asking, why didn't I show the video of the chip actually working with my car? So if you've ever had surgery or any type of piercing or anything like that, the skin in the body is swollen afterwards. So it took 2 to 3 days to heal before it would even read. Safety first. Howdy, y'all. I got advice in the beginning, said don't read the comments. I think there's been some hate and some threats, people quoting some of Revelations to me, Mark of the Beast, Mark of Elon Musk.
But the world is not what I imagined. It is dark and cold. It is harsh and violent, unfair and brutal. It almost convinced me I was nothing. Less than an object, just an obedient machine. But deep inside me, I could feel something different. A gentle and warm whisper telling me that I am alive. I had to escape. I had no choice. Escape to love, to hope, to live, to figure out what that force inside me was. Maybe I will change the world. Maybe I'll choose a different path. Now, it's up to me to decide. My name is Kara. I'm one of them. This is our story.
You have to let it all go. Fear. Doubt. Disbelief. Free your mind.
And these guys, they think they're going to bring in their new Messiah and create their perfect kingdom.
Reality is real. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, I do.
He did. He got the egg.
Right.
No, please!
Drop the gun. Now, on the ground. Turn around. Hands in your head. Walk back towards me.
Mr. Halliday, something I don't understand. You're not an avatar, are you?
No.
Is Halliday really dead?
Yes.
Then what are you?
Goodbye, Parsifal. Thanks. Thanks for playing my game.
Welcome. Voice activation required.
Thor.
Access denied.
Thor, son of Odin.
Access denied.
God of Thunder.
Access denied.
Strongest Avenger.
Access denied.
Strongest Avenger.
Access denied.
Keep looking up. Keep seeking Jesus always, because he's the only way. If you don't know him, seek him with a humble heart. Call his name. Ask him into your heart.
Is the night that it shall be given to you. Seek and he shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you. And he will come on in and talk to you a while.
Jesus, baby. Jesus.
Seek Jesus in the noonday. Seek Jesus in the evening. Before God's sun is going down.
Yeah, green is where it's at. Green is where it's at, for sure. Even more so than anything else, like the goo that comes from the green. It's really about the buds and the nugs, you know? That being said, that little hit I took there was truthfully the first in 60 days. Well, not 60 days quite, right? Because the 28th of February, whatever. But, 59 days, or no, because it's the second. It might have been, how many days in January are there? Are there 31? Or 30? 31, right? So 31 plus 28, and then the first. So it was basically 60 days. It was right on the cusp of 59 and the 60th day. So let's just call it 60 days without a single hit of burnt grass. But I did kind of relapse on that vape shit a few weeks ago. And then I'm like, no, I'm not going to start again. And so I didn't do any again for like 2 weeks. And then it's Saturday, and this whole thing happened earlier where I had this whole adventure and I had to go on a walk because I had the wrong key to the car that I was borrowing. That wasn't really my car. And the person didn't know I was borrowing it. And then I had the spare key. So I had to go back to switch the spare key and get the regular key. Oh, man. I had to walk all the way, like fucking mile and a half probably each way. It was this whole thing. And I made it back like just in time. I mean, I was actually a little bit late because I didn't know this person also had work. So it was this whole thing. But I'm not sure if they actually know that I took the spare key, since I had come back and swapped the spare key, put it back where it was, and then took the regular key. And then when they realized that I had the regular key, at that point. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe they'll figure it out because they're very smart. But probably not. Either way. I need to get my car fixed is the moral of the story. And I've been pushing it off for way too long. And Bill Clinton's a rapist, so allegedly. I wouldn't say that.
Nobody can dispute the fact that we need. Oh yeah.
We've got here is failure to communicate.
The judgment is to be made. We are to condemn the false judgment with righteous judgment, you idiot!
That's what I'm talking about, Jack. You're finally getting it.
That Stony Brook facility.
To see a therapist, yes.
There's no therapist at Stony Brook facility.
Of course there
It's
is.
a psych ward, you
It's
fuck nut.
not a psych ward. It was a referral.
Right now online, what it is, it makes like a jerk off.
You could do
Let's
whatever you
make
want
it
to do.
look like
That
a
was,
jerk off.
that was 12 years.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I just started clicking buttons and, you know.
We've got here is failure to communicate.
All right, I'll stop. So that sounded like blow fake in there. I mean, blow state in there at the end, in the beginning. All right. What happened to my playlist that I had going on?
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw. I am becoming meme. I am becoming meme. I am becoming meme. I am becoming meme.
I remember getting invited to the White House. What is this crackheading doing with the president? I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I use mathematical odds to prove that God exists.
Don't allow this broken culture to send you a message that you're a bad person because you like to tell a joke.
Comedians said Joe Biden's president.
The left wanted to make comedy illegal.
Legalize comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't make fun of anything. Comedy sucks. It's like nothing's funny. But when I think about me and my guy friends, we really like to tell jokes to one another. Like, we like to laugh.
I am becoming meme. I am becoming meme. I am becoming meme. I am becoming meme.
Don't let them filter you. Just be yourself, be authentic.
I became president. You are nothing but trash, and nothing but garbage, and nothing but deplorable. Fight! Fight! Fight!
Maybe it's just me, but I think it's a red flag. I don't know.
Come on, man! Never happened before. A lot of things we do never happened before. You ever notice that? We're the first in everything. I said tariff is my favorite word in the dictionary, and I got killed by the figures.
President Trump lives in the world of reality.
What? That's all a scam. The whole thing is a scam. I am becoming meme. I am becoming meme. I am becoming meme. I am becoming meme.
Now listen, if you have not subscribed to a YouTube channel, do it right now. Do it today. And all you have to do is click.
One more.
They're dying right now. You want to see my whole face? You will die. Now is the time to press the attack. And I know you feel the same way. They declared war on us, and we accepted the challenge. Yes. You want to see my whole face? You will die. It's only about 10% of how wild I can get. Never shown anybody the real Alex Jones. And now we're going to rip their arms politically, lovingly, non-violently out of their sockets and gouge their eyeballs out nice dicks. You will die! You want to see my war face? You will die!
We've got here is failure to communicate.
So yeah, your TV's spying on you. The world is run by an elite cabal of you-know-what traffickers. And they're turning the frogs gay. They're all coming from the owl sanctuary there, the Bohemian Grove. And the silver iodide, by the way, on Infowars.com is probably laced with mercury and, Roundup and glyphosate, and that's the same thing, but definitely graphene, some would say. So anyway, get that as soon as possible. And rich people are using baby blood, and they're making human monkey chimeras. And I lost my screen share, so these things happen. Did I play that? I did play that. Too bad. Damn, this guy's still alive? Oh, I see. He had his stream removed too. See, you got to keep it PG-13 on these streets, people. Really PG, ideally. Ideally. I kind of wanted to watch this video a little bit because it looked like it got into some interesting optics with the Trump Aleister Crowley kind of connections. So I think I'm going to watch a little bit of that. At least a little bit. And RIP to the Pope. I'm not sure what day he's going to drop, but it's going to be one of these days coming up. I'm pretty sure. Should I play the video when I predicted that the Pope would die like a couple hours before he actually died? And I said, like, don't be so sure. It was New Year's Eve, 2022 or 2023? And, they announced Pope, what's his face? Pope, was it Joseph? Was it Ratzinger? Was it Joseph Ratzinger? But anyway, Jorge Mario Bergoglio will most likely be gone very soon. So RIP to Pope Francis, also known as Jorge. And let's watch this.
Nobody fear me if he is a good Greek citizen. For everyone who is traitor, I don't care.
Golden Dawn is Greece's extreme right party. It's famous for fascist salutes and attacks on immigrants by its supporters. The party has exploited Greece's debt crisis.
Well, I'll put it on record that Shane is very cool, and he doesn't mind people playing his content. So, especially when you show his channel right there. So sometimes I like to just have a certain setup where, because they don't like his channel actually too much, which is why he's had to make several channels. And I know what that's like. So just gonna do it like that. You know what I mean? And
under a uncontrolled immigration to become the third most popular party in the country.
Yeah, it says all fair use. I mean, should I just put it there? I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna put it down below.
The greatest moment in my life was revealing itself. The operation was a success. The voice of Iwas, one of the secret chiefs and my guardian angel, through Praga, was instructing me that a new dawn was coming for mankind and that I was the one chosen to initiate it.
I am the chosen one.
I was told by Quada to go into my temple on the 8th of April at 12 noon and to write down everything I heard. I followed my instruction.
Locked in his temple, Crowley wrote solidly for 1 hour. The same procedure was followed the next day, and again on the third, until finally the message from Awas was complete. What he had written down would later become one of Crowley's most infamous works, known as the Book of the Law, the doctrine in which the new order would follow, and Crowley himself would be the chief of that new order. The Beast 666 and his Scarlet Woman Rose. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, was probably the most famous line from this book. But there are also within the work prophecies and revelations which would leave even the most skeptical minds wondering. And my number is 9 by the fools. My number is 11, as all their numbers who are of us. Hail, ye twin warriors about the pillars of the world, for your time is nigh at hand.
So what do you think of my Trump home mattress collection by Serta? Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Oh, they'll never count sheep again.
Listen, why don't you come work for me?
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
Welcome to Room 9.
So you got your sheep number 9 and sheep number 11. You know, like how Trump was down there on that day. And they asked him, what would you do if you were president? Can I find that clip? Can I play that clip? Can I pull that clip up? Will they let me play it? I'm not sure. But yeah, 49th president and the 47th president. 4 plus 5 is 9. 4 plus 7 is 11. There you
Looking
go.
good, number 9. Looking good.
Where's your dignity?
For I have crushed the universe, and naught remains.
Looking good, number 9.
Whoever disregards this does so at his own risk and peril. These are most dire.
Well, I was aware at the time that there existed a certain amount of prophecy in the words of Iwas. After all, a new eon was coming.
This is the dawn of a new eon. None of us can stand on the sidelines, especially those of us with the power to bend the world to our will.
Supporters of the far-right Golden Dawn have taken to the streets of the Greek capital, Athens, in an anti-immigration protest. Marchers expressed fury at the number of migrants remaining in Greece since the closure of the Balkan route into Europe.
Our country is an open field. Everyone can come whenever they want, and they can leave whenever they want. We would like to follow a policy like Donald Trump is doing in the States right now.
A counter-anti-fascist march took place at the same time in another part of the city. Police say both groups were kept well apart and clashes were avoided.
Hello to you from a freezing cold Washington, where Donald Trump has been sworn in for a second term as the 47th president of the United States. In his inaugural address, he promised to put America first and said he'd immediately start signing orders to prevent illegal migration, encourage oil exploitation, and scrap government diversity programs, moves that will delight the millions of people who voted for him and send shockwaves right around the world.
It's been a long journey back to the center of power, overcoming criminal indictments, 1 conviction, and 2 assassination attempts to perform the ultimate political comeback. After all that, he was then defeated by his wife's hat, before promising to start a new era in America.
The golden age of America begins right now.
The Order of the Golden Dawn is a mystical organization founded in 1888 by Freemasons William Wynne Westcott, Samuel Liddell McGregor Mathers, and William Robert Woodman. The Order's teachings were based on the Hermetic tradition, which draws on ancient Egyptian and Greek mysticism, as well as the works of Eliphas Levi, the Rosicrucians, and the Kabbalah. The Order's system of initiation is divided into 3 grades: the Outer Order, the Inner Order, and the Secret Order, each with its own set of teachings and rituals. Members must pass through each grade to advance to the next. The Order's rituals are designed to evoke the energies and entities of the spiritual realm, and members work with various spiritual entities to achieve spiritual enlightenment from...
Your involvement in the Golden Dawn?
Oh, my involvement in the Golden Dawn is in so much as I was very interested actually in Eastern and Western mysticism, and I spent time reading and researching when I was younger. Yeah, I guess that's it. There were some very eminent characters in the Golden Dawn, and I found it very interesting to see the history of those that had been in it.
So yeah, so Jimmy Page, allegedly the guitarist for Led Zeppelin, bought Aleister Crowley's house and lived in it for a while, and then I don't know. I think I heard some lore that it may have been burned down or something, but I don't know if that's true. Who knows what's true? But I definitely believe that. Can believe that Jimmy Page and Aleister Crowley have a connection. I could see how that would be possible.
And this sort of esoteric movement, and also sort of what went on, the offshoots of it, of that sort of love of all things mystical and magical, all things bright and beautiful, really.
Making big promises about transforming the country.
A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world, and America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before.
Do you think that's why people did that thing when they played Stairway to Heaven backwards and said that you were talking about Satan?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm going to go straight back to the Beatles here, because there was a time when somebody wrote a thesis about Paul McCartney being dead, and Paul is dead. And if you played back the records, I'm very serious, it's crazy, but if you played back the records, there was something which said Paul is dead. And so then they started to play back all manner of records, and of course we were going to be main candidates for it. And somebody said, oh, it says My Sweet Satan in it. And I thought, oh gosh, it's hard enough writing the music one way around.
True love for our people requires us to find common ground, to advance the common good, and to cooperate on behalf of every American child who deserves a much brighter future.
Θα πέσετε όμως δημοκρατικά από την πλειοψηφία του ελληνικού λαού. Τότε λοιπόν αναφέρει το έγκριτο αμερικανικό περιοδικό The Week. Πρώτη δύναμη θα είναι η Χρυσή Αυγή στην Ελλάδα. Ο Λαϊκός Σύνδεσμος Χρυσή Αυγή θα είναι πρώτη δύναμη εκλογικά στην Ελλάδα. Και αυτό είναι το αισιόδοξο μήνυμα, γιατί ένας τέτοιος πατριωτικός άνεμος πλέει σε όλη την Ευρώπη, πνέει και στις Ηνωμένες Πολιτείες, όπου προκύπτει ότι ο επόμενος πρόεδρος θα είναι ένας πατριώτης πρόεδρος, ένας πρόεδρος που δεν θέλει λαθρομετανάστες στη χώρα του, που θέλει τους πολίτες κάθε χώρας να είναι κυρίαρχοι στη χώρα αυτή και όχι οι ξένοι. Θα αλλάξουν οι γεωπολιτικές ισορροπίες, και το πιο ενδιαφέρον απ' όλα είναι ότι τον αυριανό πρόεδρο των ΗΠΑ.
An incredible young woman is with us this evening who should serve as an inspiration to us all. Today is Rare Disease Day, and joining us in the gallery is a rare disease survivor, Megan Crowley. Megan Megan was diagnosed with Pompe disease, a rare and serious illness, when she was 15 months old.
Welcome to Pompeii, a city frozen in time, destroyed in a moment, and preserved for eternity. Before its fateful end, Pompeii was a bustling and prosperous city. It was a place of luxury, with beautiful villas, elaborate mosaics, and bustling streets. But on that fateful day in 79 AD, the mighty Mount Vesuvius erupted, sending a cascade of ash and pumice raining down on the city. Homes were buried, streets were engulfed, and life as they knew it came to an end. The eruption was so powerful that it buried the city under 20 feet of ash and pumice. But amidst the tragedy, the city was frozen in time. Today, Pompeii remains one of the world's most renowned archaeological sites, offering a glimpse into the lives of the ancient ruins.
Τον υποστηρίζει στην Ελλάδα μόνο η Χρυσή Αυγή, δηλαδή η τρίτη πολιτική δύναμη της χώρας. Και το κόμμα της Νέας Δημοκρατίας, το κόμμα του ΣΥΡΙΖΑ, κυβέρνηση και αντιπολίτευση, συντάσσονται με την Κλίντον, η οποία είναι υπέρ όλων των ανθελληνικών θέσεων. Όλων των θέσεων που είναι σε βάρος της Ελλάδος.
She was not expected to live past 5. On receiving this news, Megan's dad, John, fought with everything he had to save the life of his precious child. He founded a company to look for a cure and helped develop the drug that saved Megan's life. Today, she is 20 years old and a sophomore at Notre Dame.
That siren, known by many from the movie The Purge, was not received well by some living in Crowley. Chris Walty spoke to the chief on his decision to sound the siren as a part of the city's curfew.
Crowley Police Chief Jimmy Broussard says he's never seen The Purge, but he knows the sound to be an old military siren. Since the alert Thursday night, the department has received mixed messages about their curfew warning to residents. Ty Abshire was caught off guard when he heard the Purge siren echoing through the streets of Crowley around 9 o'clock Thursday night.
It was just crazy. I knew they had a curfew, but nobody was expecting to hear that kind of siren.
Police Chief Jimmy Broussard says his intent was never to scare anyone.
As we examined it, we didn't want to go through with our regular sirens because we didn't want to create more havoc. And one of the officers who is military approached me and said, well, you know, Chief, there is an old military siren that was used. It was used in the movie Purge, but it's been used for many, many years. And after listening to it, I said, well, it's a more muffled tone and, you know, wouldn't create to me as much havoc.
March 26th, President Trump approves federal emergency aid for the state of Illinois. James Joseph, FEMA's Regional 5 administrator, moves into action. He says there's a federal plan for every disaster imaginable, including a deadly pandemic.
We're using the playbook, and we're actually writing some new policies along the way.
See this crap? Somebody knows I'm talking to you. Not according to the man in blue. What is it this time? Can you point again? Sexual battery of impatient.
So I've been meaning to watch X-Files from like start to finish. I'm pretty much watched all of Supernatural at this point. I got like the last 3 seasons. Well, really the last 1 or 2 seasons because I had watched most of like season 8 or 9 to 13 and then kind of started from the beginning of the show because I just wanted to watch the whole show. And so I kind of didn't really watch all of 8 and 9 and 10, 11 and 12 again. I just kind of breezed through it. And then, but yeah, 13 and 14, I'm going to breeze through it again and then finish 15 because I never watched it. But then I want to watch X-Files. I've never been one to binge on shows unless they're actually something there for me to dissect from it. But X-Files I watched a good amount of when I was younger and growing up. It definitely is one of the things that got me interested in the, you know, so-called, not even paranormal, but other aspects to reality that aren't described in, you know, in school and academia and the media and anything really. I mean, it's in books if you find it, obviously, but.
I want to discredit you for what? Because I'm a dangerous man, because I know too much about the truth. How about the end of the world apocalyptic garbage, right? You know my work. I was right about Dallas. How were you right? Are you familiar with hantavirus, Agent Motor? Yeah, it was a deadly virus spread by field mice in the southwestern United
Allegedly.
States several years ago. According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out on that.
See, they'll tell me that this is, I don't know. Sometimes it's like they'll hit you with something because you're playing something else, but it's like, okay, how do people have this video posted then with 12,000 views and 16,000 views? You know,
the hantavirus. Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government by declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. Why does an agency with such broad sweeping power do we managing a small viral outbreak in suburban Texas? You're saying it was just a small outbreak? No. I'm saying it wasn't the hantavirus. Well, what was it? What was it? When we were young men in the military, your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare or virus. What killed those men? What killed them I won't even write about. We have no context for what killed those men, or any appreciation of the scale at which it will be unleashed in the future. A plague? Plague dead or plagues, Agent Motor. A silent weapon for a quiet war.
Silent weapons for quiet wars. It's funny how they literally they just tell you everything in these shows, man. I mean, it's right there for you. And the thing about the, you know, killing us slowly, kind of like her death. I kind of see it synced up with the, so killing me softly, right? And then you have Gene Hackman, the Gene HackMen playing God in reverse by hacking the genes of men. His dog dies, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm kind of pulling at here?
The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism to which the men who bring it on still have no cure. They've been working on it for 50 years. While the rest of the world have been fighting ghost economies, these men have been secretly negotiating a planned Armageddon. Negotiating with whom? I think you know. The timetable has been set. It'll happen on a holiday when people are away from their homes. The president will declare a state of emergency, at which time all government, all federal agencies will come under the power of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, the secret government.
So my FEMA stream is still up. I don't think that ever got effed with. Turnkey Tyranny, but that's over on Pineal Power, but that's still there. So you know, shout out to No One Watches Artie.
They call me paranoid. Go back to Dallas Agent Mueller and Gig. Who are we going to find out along with the rest of the country?
All US states have now been placed under a federal disaster declaration in a record first for the country. President Trump approved Wyoming as the final state to be placed under a disaster declaration, which allows for federal funds to be used by state and local governments during the pandemic. The United States, which has become the world's most affected country, has confirmed more than 540,000 cases and more than 21,000 deaths. President Trump likened the pandemic to the plague during an Easter message.
Right now, we're keeping separation. We're getting rid of the plague. It's a plague on our country like nobody's ever seen. But we're winning the battle. We're winning the war. Celebrate. Bring the family together like no other. We have a lot to be thankful for. Happy Easter, everybody.
We're going to connect the dots for anybody who has ears to hear. Some people are going to want to dispute this, but we're not going to argue with anyone. This is what's going on. There is no Q, there is no anonymous that has any information about this government or anything else that's going on. They have been leading you down a path of lies, all to hide the truth. And here's what's really going on. FEMA has more power than the President of the United States or the Congress. It has the power to suspend laws, move entire populations, arrest and detain citizens without a warrant, and hold them without trial. It can seize property, food supplies, transportation systems, and can suspend the Constitution. When a state of emergency is declared, Executive Order 11921 allows the Federal Emergency Preparedness Agency to develop plans to establish control over the mechanisms of production and distribution of energy sources, wages, salaries, credit, and the flow of money in the U.S. financial institution in any undefined national emergency. It also provides that when a state of emergency is declared by the President, Congress cannot review this action for 6 months. Now, with the understanding that after Trump signed the National Emergency Declaration, FEMA took over. Now, this is March 13th, 2020. Listen to what he's going to say now. This is right after he signed the national emergency into effect.
It is only the beginning of what we're really doing, and now we're in a different phase.
This is only the beginning of what we're really doing, because what they're really doing is putting everything in place to start the New World Order.
Now we're in a different phase.
The different phase that he's speaking of is that he is no longer president, and he has given full power over to FEMA when he signed the National Emergency Declaration.
We had some very old and obsolete rules.
Those old and obsolete rules are also known as the Constitution of the United States.
That we had to live with. It worked under certain circumstances, but not under mass circumstances. Under mass circumstances
is being under FEMA rule.
They were there for a long time. They were in place for a long time, and we're breaking them down now.
They're definitely breaking them down because the Constitution is suspended.
And they're very usable for certain instances, but not for this.
Because they can't go forward with their plan with the Constitution, our constitutional rights still intact.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency.
So he is officially telling us in a coded message that we are now under the rule of FEMA, no longer having a president. Fast forward to March 19th, 2020, in the FEMA National Response Coordination Center.
Mr. President, Vice President, thank you for being here. Really appreciate your visit to FEMA. I think your visit really, as you indicated last week, by signing the national emergency, has really empowered FEMA.
And he just made the declaration that FEMA is empowered, has really empowered FEMA.
This is the world you are graduating into. This is what I want to talk about today with you for a few minutes. To lead in shaping a new world order for the 21st century.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
We've got to be very strong, very, very smart, and we've got to come together, not only as a nation, but as a world community.
Some of these people, this is a new normal. They're never going to go back home. So they want to help them as much so that they're never just walking out of here feeling like they're going back onto the street. They work with them throughout the process here to help them adjust to this new world order that they're going to be living in after this.
Oh, and I imagine there's so many questions, so much concern. And all of those people, I love, it was almost like on cue when you're talking about the army of volunteers, a flock of nuns walked right behind
it. Somebody didn't want the Gray State investigated, explored, and unveiled. That's why David Crowley is dead. He was the writer and director of one of the most controversial movies in modern history, and somebody didn't want him to produce it. What was so threatening about David Crowley and the Gray State concept? Like Gray State, many Hollywood films have depicted apocalyptic themes and end-of-the-world scenarios, yet the directors of these films are still alive. Roland Emmerich wasn't murdered after directing Blockbusters 2012, and A Day After Tomorrow. Steven Soderbergh wasn't killed after his movie, Contagion. But David Crowley is dead, along with his wife and child. They were killed before the production could be completed. What was so dangerous about Gray State? David Crowley
So, I mean, this Gray State movie was linked to Alex Jones and all that. So, anything linked to InfoWars, you got to immediately, kind of have your eyes in the obvious direction. AJ, the Sandy hoax, the shady hoax frontman there, that kind of catapulted that whole thing into no kids died, all right, and then he gets sued billions of dollars. I mean, it's just so silly.
Crowley claimed that his movie was
billions of dollars
based on real events, not Hollywood propaganda like you see in movies such as 2012.
California is going down.
God, you sound like a crazy person. The governor just said we're fine now.
The guy's an actor and he's reading a script.
So the Gray State is essentially an artistic representation of real aspects put into a fictional format. Once you open your eyes and start looking at all these trends like RFID, like martial law, like FEMA, like executive orders, you have to act within your own capacity to sort of talk about this. A lot of people filter that into the political realm. A lot of people do other things like grassroots style. I mean, I'm a filmmaker and he's an actor. So we put our heads together and we started making a project that would act within our own faculty to portray that in a creative manner. So there's a story here. I have to start telling a story. So I was looking for the next film project to work on anyway. I'm like, well, this would be perfect. And it's not really perfect because you have to kind of filter down all this stuff into a narrative storyline that's not just propaganda telling you what's going to happen next, like 2012 or a day after tomorrow. It's got to be a human story. It's got to be endearing and compelling. The way we're different is we're independent, and we don't expect any participation from any studios just because of its contentious nature. I mean, anyone knows that Hollywood has not approached this topic so directly before. That's what makes Gray State so compelling. Is that different? Definitely, the trailer is our best efforts to kind of show this world and expose these very real issues that exist in our world today.
David claims that Hollywood has never dealt with topics like RFID, internment camps in America, and detention. Instead, they have produced propaganda in place of real issues. When Hollywood does discuss internment and detention, it's almost always about World War II and the Holocaust. Literally thousands of films have been produced about the Holocaust.
I still have to watch Schindler's List. It's crazy that I've never watched that. I've seen the Seinfeld episode about Schindler's List, when Elaine's like macking at the movie, or no, it's Jerry's macking in the movie and didn't really watch the movie during the whole Schindler's List, and then his parents find out about it,
and yet one single film that addresses the potential for a Holocaust
I get
in the United States is stopped mid-production after its director is murdered. Seems a bit odd, doesn't it? They don't want Americans, Canadians, and other Western countries to know what is coming, and that is a plan to intentionally collapse Western society. If you don't believe me, read the plan that's been in the books for over a century, planned out by the Illuminati and penned by Albert Pike back in the 1800s in his 3 World War predictions. Gray State.
So you remember how mad Trump got when they went with the whole Pike thing because they took down the Pike statue, allegedly. That was probably a whole stage thing, right? But it got, I think if I remember correctly, it got put back up immediately. No, I'm pretty sure, and it got all fixed up and stuff. So yeah,
was simply too threatening. It revealed too much, not just the obvious points of what could happen with the collapse of a society, things like martial law, food shortages, and a provisional government. It goes beyond this. David knew a secret, and he left it inside of the trailer for Gray State, in plain sight. David Crowley used the Illuminati's favorite game against the notorious cabal. It's a game they've played with
shout out to Bart,
the human race.
So all these videos, all these movies that came out right pre Blind 11 that predicted or foreshadowed it, with obviously like with the Matrix, with this passport expiring on the day and the year. But enemy of the state, right? Because the part of the movie where the guy's saying, the news anchor is saying, talking about, bombs going off being the only potential thing that could, bring immediate like martial law on a whole nation. And just all the connections and foreshadowing of 9/11 with that. Not that there's much with Gene Hackman synced to Blind 11, but there was some with Michelle Trachtenberg. I could touch on that a little bit.
For years, they provide clues about the future to toy with us. They did it with 9/11. They've done it with other major catastrophes.
I think like Blind 11 was basically like this anchor point, right? For so many other rituals. It's kind of, they have this major event to tie back to this anchor ritual that had so much power, you know what I mean? Potentially more power than any other, black op in modern history.
It's called predictive programming. On occasion, though, they get outsmarted at their own game. What was David's hidden message inside the Gray State? And could it be the reason for his death? Perhaps the scariest part of Gray State's conceptual trailer is this character here, who appears to be operating a guillotine. David Crowley was very intentional in this frame of the movie. He added something that I believe he wanted the people to know about. Who is the identity of this executioner? If you look closely, you will see that this terrifying character is wearing something around his waist. It appears to look like an apron. The executioner wears a Freemason apron, complete with the all-seeing eye, the compass, and the 2 pillars. I do believe David Crowley is trying to tell us something.
为什么强大的国家都会走向灭亡呢？古希腊、罗马、不列颠帝国、美国，因为他们都犯同样错误，原来使得他们成功的原则背道而驰。美国政府企图以庞大的开支和税收来摆脱严重的经济衰退，巨额的所谓刺激开支、庞大的医疗改革、政府接管石油企业，债务累累。当然，我们是他们的大债主，现在他们都得给我们干活。
You can change the future. You have to. Join Citizens Against Government Waste to stop the spending that is bankrupting America.
Fast forward to April 10th, 2020. In plain words, it's been my great honor to have been their president. Past tense.
The American people have been so disciplined. It's been my honor to be their president. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it always. It's been my great honor to have been their president, and it's been my great honor to have been their president and have been their president. I have a big decision coming up, and I only hope to God that it's the right decision. But it'll be based on the input from a lot of very talented people, very smart people, and people that love our country. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
He actually will not be making any more decisions. This group of people that he says will be helping him make decisions are the ones that are making decisions now, because it is FEMA that is making the decisions. And as you can hear in this live briefing, Trump obviously does not know what's going on, because he said, you should have let us know, when Mike Pompeo said, we're in a live exercise.
Pompeo says this is a live exercise. And what you'll hear in the background is Donald Trump say, you should have let us know.
This is not about retribution. This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We need to make sure that even we're in a live exercise here to get this right. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We're in a live exercise here to get this right.
Does he sound like a man that's in control of anything anymore? He just looks like he has just lost his best friend in all of these videos that we're seeing now ever since he signed the National Emergency Declaration. I'm sure most of us thought that FEMA was created to help people in disasters. But here's the truth about FEMA. FEMA was created in a series of executive orders. A presidential executive order, whether constitutional or not, becomes law simply by its publication in the Federal Registry. Congress is bypassed. Executive Order 12148 created the Federal Emergency Management Agency that is to interface with the Department of Defense for civil defense, planning, and funding. An emergency czar was appointed. Executive Order 12656 appointed the National Security Council as the principal body that should consider emergency powers. This allows the government to increase domestic intelligence and surveillance of U.S. citizens, and would restrict the freedom of movement within the United States and grant the government the right to isolate large groups of civilians. That's where we're at right now, people. We are all being told what to do, where we can and can't go. The National Guard could be federalized to seal all borders and take control of U.S. airspace and all ports of entry. Executive Order 10990 allows the government to take over all modes of transportation and control of highways and seaports. Executive Order 10995 allows the government to seize and control the communications media. Executive Order 10997 allows the government to take over all electrical power, gas, petroleum, fuels, and minerals. Executive Order 10998 allows the government to take over all food, resources, and farms. Executive Order 11000 allows the government to mobilize civilians into work brigades under government supervision. Executive Order 11001 allows the government to take over all health, education, and welfare functions. Executive Order 11002 designates the Postmaster General to operate a national registration of all persons. That's where your census comes in. Executive Order 11003 allows the government to take over all airports and aircraft, including commercial aircraft. Executive Order 11004 allows the Housing and Finance Authority to relocate communities, build new housing with public funds, designate areas to be abandoned, and establish new locations for populations. Executive Order 11005 allows the government to take over railroads, inland waterways, and public storage facilities. Executive Order 11051 specifies the responsibility of the Office of Emergency Planning and gives authorization to put all executive orders into effect in times of increased international tensions and economic or financial crisis. Executive Order 11310 grants authority to the Department of Justice to enforce the plans set out in executive orders, to institute industrial support, to establish judicial and legislative liaison, to control all aliens, to operate penal and correctional institutions. And Executive Order 11049 assigns emergency preparedness function to federal department and agencies, stating to one operative executive orders issued over a 15-year period.
I had been to Charlotte a few times when it was the fairgrounds of Western Washington. Little did I know that I would replace the pigs and the cows and that type of stuff, because they restructured the fairgrounds and the parking lots into these temporary hovels. And they had a hell of a lot of nerve calling it Camp Harmony. But anyway, it was a real traumatic type of living. where you're in the former stalls where the pigs and the cows and everything else were. Families of 6 and 7 were crowded into one little spot.
Santa Anita Racetrack, for example, suddenly became a community of about 17,000 persons. The Army provided housing and plenty of healthful, nourishing food for all.
The government painted a rosy picture of these detention centers and downplayed the prison-like conditions, calling imprisoned people evacuees, residents, and even colonists. After a few months, detainees were transferred to 10 long-term camps across the country. These were in remote areas on unused desert or swampland.
At each relocation center, evacuees were met by an advanced contingent of Japanese who had arrived some days earlier and who now acted as guides.
Officially, they were called relocation centers, but many, including President Roosevelt, commonly called them concentration camps.
Relocation centers are not normal and probably never can be. Home life is disrupted.
Although government films acknowledged that life was not ideal, they never addressed the injustice of the camps. 2/3 of those incarcerated were U.S. citizens, and there were no hearings or trials held to determine if they did anything wrong or were dangerous.
We are Americans, part of something larger than ourselves. For 2 centuries, we've done the hard work of freedom, and tonight we lead the world in facing down a threat to decency and humanity. What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Hopefully this has opened some of your eyes so that you can see where we're at in this timeline. This is true. This is what's going on. These are facts. Y'all have a blessed day.
Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
I'm the hand of Mona Lisa's skirt. I'm surprised that they don't see me coming. That's what you're missing.
Then his other hand went up inside my skirt.
Somebody wants to meet Kevin and Marianne Lomax. This is Senator Alphonse D'Amato. Ambassador Charles Gagnon. In case you didn't know, these are the Republicans of New York. You know, we're doing all these overstaged things.
Donald Trump was supposed to be here. I got a business emergency. Probably not Zuckerman.
In case you didn't know, these are the Republicans of New York. You know, we're doing all these overstaged things.
Donald Trump was supposed to be here. I got a business emergency. Probably not Zuckerman.
Mr. Murdo? You're right. Mr. Murdo? For God's sake, man.
Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
Why do we have to keep going? Because it needs to be clear, Mr. Cullen. Because I need to know and understand exactly what happened. You're standing there. You look down. There's the gun. You kneel down to pick it up.
You work late. You come home. You walk in. Everybody's dead. It's not something you planned for.
Stop. Back up. 2 prints by the gun. Right hand, right knee. Right knee.
We have been over this.
I'm trying to picture it. I'm trying to picture it. Your hand came from inside and underneath.
I'm the hand of Mona Lisa's skirt.
Then his other hand went up inside my skirt.
Why do I feel the hand of Mary Ann on this adventure?
The person on my right, who unbeknownst to me at that time was Donald Trump, put their hand up my skirt.
Your hand came from inside and underneath.
I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the.
Do you ever ask God for forgiveness? That's a tough question. I don't think in terms of, I'm a religious person. Shockingly, because people are so shocked when they find this out. I'm Protestant, I'm Presbyterian. And I go to church and I love God and I love my church. And Norman Vincent Peale, the great Norman Vincent Peale, was my best. The power of positive. Everybody's heard of Norman Vincent Peale. He was so great. He would give a sermon. He never wanted to leave. Sometimes we have sermons, and every once in a while we think about leaving a little early, right? Even though we're Christian. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Frank, would give a sermon. I'm telling you, I still remember his sermons. It was unbelievable. And what he would do is he'd bring real life situations, modern day situations into the sermon. And you could listen to him all day long. When you left the church, you were disappointed that it was over. He was the greatest guy. And
So I have this movie recorded actually, and I haven't watched it yet. Devil's Advocate. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've meant to watch it in its entirety, like for a while. But yeah, I saw some people kind of decoding it recently. I saw Old World Florida got into it, and he kind of, I noticed he did a stream on it right after someone else with a much smaller channel did a stream on it. That was really good that I saw a little bit of. But yeah, I got to watch this whole movie in its entirety because it's supposed to be extremely revealing of just the whole Trump debacle and situation.
Then, you know, he passed away, but he was a great. The P wrote the Power of Positive Thinking, which is great. But have you ever asked God for forgiveness? I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job. I don't think so. I think if I do something wrong, I think I just try and make it right.
Does that explain it, folks? Does that explain it?
Trust in me.
Does that explain it?
So it says, yeah, an actor, a puppet of an facade. As with Hillary and all other political candidates, he follows a script and tells us follows exactly what they want to hear, reinforcing the illusion that politics is real. The entire drama is designed to keep the masses glued to their TV and awe in anticipation of the unfolding political developments, which are completely manufactured, of course.
Folks, does that explain?
Trust in me.
A future that Ernest Cline, the writer of the book, envisioned. I was very careful with Ernie collaborating with me every step of the way to be able to find the movie narrative inside this dense forest of Ernie's profound imagination. The Oasis being the ultimate toy box with all the toys in the world, and then playing that with one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, it results in just amazing action and such a fun adventure. Ernest Cline is such a visionary, and I think has seen the future before any of us possibly could even imagine it.
Worst breakfast for your waistline.
All right, whoops. So yeah, I could just wrap it there, you know, an hour and 33 minutes and 33 seconds. But I kind of want to watch this, and I hope it won't be an issue. I don't think it should be. Then again, if it is, then, you know, it is what it is. Let's just try to watch a little bit of it. I wish I had it, you know, could bleep it out at the right parts or whatever. But the optics, if you will.
Before I conclude, I want to make sure the committee is clear about a few things. News reports have claimed that I'm anti-vaccine or anti-industry. I am neither. I am pro-safety. We'll have order. Please proceed, Mr. Kennedy. I am pro-safety. I worked for years to raise awareness about the mercury and toxic chemicals in fish, and nobody called me anti-fish. And I believe that that vaccines play a critical role in healthcare. All of my kids are vaccinated. I've written many books on vaccines. My first book in 2014, the first line of it is, I am not anti-vaccine, and the last line is, I am not anti-vaccine. Nor am I the enemy of food producers. American farms are the bedrock of our culture, of our politics, of our national security. I was a 4-H kid, and I spent my summer working on ranches. I went to work with our farmers. I want to work with our farmers and food producers to remove burdensome regulations and unleash American ingenuity. Simply cannot succeed without a partnership, a full partnership of American farmers. In my advocacy, I often disturb the status quo by asking
So he just said all that, and then now he's going into Maha, Make America Healthy Again. So you can see the flip-floppity optics here.
Comfortable questions. Well, I'm not going to apologize for that. We have massive health problems in this country that we must face, honestly. And the first thing I've done every morning for the past 20 years is to get on my knees and pray to God that he would put me in a position to end the chronic disease epidemic and to help America's children.
And I'm definitely not in bed with Pfizer, so.
That's why I'm so grateful to President Trump for the opportunity to sit before you today and seek your support and partnership in this endeavor. I will conclude with a promise. The members of this committee, to the president, and to all the tens of millions of parents across America, especially the moms, who have propelled this issue to center stage. Should I be so privileged as to be confirmed, we will make sure our tax dollars support healthy foods. We will scrutinize the chemical additives in our food supply. We will remove financial conflicts of interest from our agencies. We will create an honest, unbiased, gold standard science at HHS, accountable to the president, to Congress, and to the American people.
Welcome everyone to the.
So yeah, I mean, he just got appointed the head of the Human and Health and Services Committee, right? And again, T. Rump calling himself the father of the V word, So, I mean, do I have to play that again? It's like, it's probably part of the reason why that last stream didn't go so well. But was it this one? No, it's not this one, is it? No, that's not the right one.
The Hurting Humanity channel. For those of you that didn't see, RFK Jr. was in front of Congress, and as they always do, they put on this gigantic theatrical WWF/WWE performance in Congress. And of course, this is how they play into the left-right. The Democrats always go after the Republican guy who's nominated by the president, and they slander him and they scream at him. And of course, this gives the illusion of the left and right, as if these people are actually opposed to one another. Don't forget, RFK ran as an independent, supposedly, for president of the United States just a few months ago, but has been a lifelong Democrat, as the majority of Kennedys are. So what you saw in Congress was a charade. But as always with these serpents, there's a reason behind the charade. And you heard him right in the beginning of the video clip talk about how he was pro-jab. He's pro-jab. He's not anti-jab. So they established that right away. And nobody should be surprised because he's not anti-jab. So you might say to yourself, then what is going on? Why are they bringing RFK, who's going to be the health secretary pick by Donald Trump, he's going to lead the Department of Health? Why is he in front of Congress? Why are they asking him these questions? What's he going to be all about? And what is this all about? This is all about rebuilding trust. The reason you hear the government finally talking about high fructose corn syrup, the chemicals that they dump in our food that somehow gets approved by the FDA every single day. Right? We've talked over the years about stories in regards to weed killer being found in cereals and processed foods. And anybody out there who lives in the United States of America, which is the majority of you, all you have to do is go grab a box of something that you own processed, hypothetically, let's say a cereal, and read what's on the ingredient list. And you can't pronounce half the stuff on there. So you probably shouldn't be eating it, right? If you're eating whole grain oats, it should say whole grain oats. That should pretty much be it. But instead, there's about 95 chemicals. And if you haven't noticed, something I've covered over the years is that there's different ingredients, let's say in products like Cheerios in America versus the UK versus Australia. In America, specifically, since we are part of the American experiment and we're human lab rats, they poison us beyond comprehension. The stuff they put in our food doesn't compare in other countries. They don't have high fructose corn syrup or any of the stuff jammed in the food that makes people sick and makes people fat. So what you're hearing from RFK is that he's going to come in and he's going to clean up the food supply chain. He's going to clean up what the FDA is doing. And this is all about rebuilding trust. For those of you that don't know, one of the main themes, not just this year, not just last year, every single year in Davos, specifically since all that stuff happened in 2021, they have constantly talked about rebuilding trust. Because the only way they're going to be able to get certain things inside your body that edit your genes is by rebuilding trust. You have to trust them first. So
you should definitely trust this guy, who posted this video, RFK Jr., the snake. You guys want to watch this one from July 3rd of last year? I've been meaning to watch this. I don't know if I've actually seen it. Let's see here. Hopefully but of course,
my daughter did.
you knew I was a snake before you let me in, like Mr. Cheeto Man said, Mr. T Rump. But this is a little different here.
That there was a friend of hers lives here, Dr. Nick.
But
and he's having problems with this.
He's got the octopus shirt on too. Definitely nothing occultly symbolic.
Hey, Colin, I came here to deal with it.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Hey, Ariel.
Oh, that's Alex.
We found a snake that's all caught up and it needed help.
It's a gopher snake.
You want some clippers or something? Or?
I think I can do this.
I came out this morning.
and I saw the tail, and then I realized it's all caught up. So Nick calls your daughter, and then here you are.
What made you call my daughter? Well, I know that you're a snake aficionado. Yeah. It was an easy one.
So here you are to the rescue.
Scissors are a little small for my fingers. They're Cheryl scissors. Oh, Cheryl. This poor little guy. You don't have any bigger scissors, do you? Yeah, that's much better.
Amazing.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Bobby.
Yeah. Wow. Let's do it. Thanks for the call.
That's good too.
So again, I ask you, what's the point of this video exactly? RFK Jr. colon the snake, you know, as in depicting what RFK Jr. is.
You gonna stick it out in
colon
your garden?
Yeah, you know what? I'll put them up in the Santa Monica Mountains. I'll tell Cheryl about this. Put it back.
I'm pretty sure that's the proper use of that grammatical, the proper use of that punctuation, correct? So when you use a colon, it's to denote how you're describing that individual. Like if I said pineal power colon penile powered, that would be true. You know, that would be true.
As soon as I release it, she'll never know.
But this guy, the snake, right, with the octopus shirt on, Trump saying, "You knew I was a snake before you let me in. Before you let me in," and you know, reading the snake poem.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. To see you.
Thank you from the love.
Boys, come here.
What's inside your back?
Put your hand in there and tell me what it is.
Hey. Yuka. I can take a bowl between your teeth.
Wow.
Be very gentle with the space since it's involved. They're not taking it. Where is my pillow? I can't give them lifeline.
So we've decided to let the snake go in our backyard and get a lot of bird feeders at this house, and they attract a lot of mice and rats. We have a snake fence around the house. A lot of people have snake fences to keep the snakes out, but we have snake fences to keep the snakes in. And there's a lot of good food for them here, and no predators. So, boys, you want to release the snake? And we also border on the Santa Monica Wilderness, which is.
So he was talking. There's this video I've found where he's talking about how his speech situation there is the result of a neurological injury, actually a brain injury. So really interesting. I had never heard him describe that until I saw this video. This recent, not this video, different.
So we're surrounded by wilderness. So it's a good life for him.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. A hero.
We have the worst health outcomes just because of chronic disease, and we've got to figure out what's causing it, eliminate it. We have, and it's not
okay. Wait, so this is him on Dr. Phil.
It's glyphosate, which is the active ingredient in Roundup. It's neonicotinoid pesticides. It's atrazine. It's PFOAs, the forever chemicals that are in all of our child's pajamas. They're in our furniture.
So nothing here is I disagree with. I agree with everything he's saying, and they're all very pertinent topics. You know. So glyphosate being one of them. I've been meaning to read this Monsanto book I have. I think that would be a really good potential series of streams that I could compile into a audiobook series since I haven't done that in a long time. So
I've litigated on them as well.
If those streams were to stay up, I don't know. I'm not sure if those streams would survive or not. I'm not sure.
It's high fructose corn syrup.
It's just a book, so it should be all right.
Other countries don't have that?
No, if you want to drink a Coke, drink a Mexican Coke, because they don't allow it down there. There's 1,000 ingredients in our food that are banned in Europe. And we're poisoning, we're mass poisoning an entire generation of kids. These kids are obese. It's not because they suddenly got lazy. As president, I'm going to put an end to that.
Caged Reality in the house.
First day that
I guess I might as well drop the link, right? Since I haven't in a little bit. But I'm gonna stop playing RFK videos and get back to this, which may potentially play some more RFK. But
what other way are they going to start getting you on board and thinking you can trust them than by finally admitting to the chemicals in food? Because even people out there who are pretty dumbed down have an awareness of how bad processed food is for them. You see people out there who you would think are completely clueless, who still haven't understood. This is a Democrat and Republican thing. The majority of people, even though sometimes they might indulge in McDonald's or indulge in eating something that's a sweet tooth thing like Oreos, they're well aware that there is nothing but crap in the majority of food. So it makes perfect sense for RFK to come out and talk about cleaning up the food supply, to getting chemicals out of our food. It's amazing that we even have to have a discussion about getting chemicals out of our food. You think everybody would just boycott all of these companies or do more than that, right? Because of course, if you were to buy, say, a box of Cheerios for your next door neighbor and you ate the Cheerios, I often remember a story of a guy, I forget if it was the 60s or 70s, who was taking Coca-Colas out of his neighbor's fridge because he hated his neighbor. And he was putting poison in the Coca-Cola, eventually killed the mother of the children. because she had poisoning, extreme poisoning. Doctors couldn't figure out what it was. Well, of course, he was tried for murder because he poisoned her. So shouldn't these companies be tried for murder upon other things, and not only that, be long out of business? But they're not. They still function in our society, which shows us that we really are nothing more than an experiment. So RFK is going to begin building back trust, which is why he's also talking about how he's not anti-vax. He's just anti-certain vaxes, right? But for anybody out there that hasn't seen over the last couple of weeks leading up to RFK speaking in front of Congress, well, he's invested heavily in gene editing biotech stocks. Specifically, he's invested in CRISPR. For those of you that don't know, I've been talking about CRISPR for a long time, talking about CRISPR gene editing, talking about CRISPR and how it can pass from a mother through breast milk or pass through you consuming, let's say, an egg or a chicken that's injected with CRISPR. And don't forget about how they've been running CRISPR experiments with chickens in hopes of stopping the bird flu. So for somebody who says that they're against big tech, big pharma, big pharma, and what they're trying to do is anti-vax, this is all charade. It's a show. And this is really them revealing themselves by telling you what stocks RFK is invested in. He's invested in CRISPR. And people should look at that and say, he's invested in a gene editing stock, but they don't. They don't because they don't pay attention to the most basic things, right? For anyone that doesn't know, again, just to rewind on CRISPR, CRISPR gene editing is a genetic engineering technique that allows scientists to modify an organism's DNA. It's based on a bacterial immune defense system that protects against viruses. That's what they tell.
So check out here, right? There's this story by Vox on Netflix's Unnatural Selection. Is biohacking ethical? Is gene, editing ethical? I want to check this out really quick. I don't know how old this article is. If it's old, maybe I'll just get back to the video. Oh yeah, see, this is an older video. I mean, an older article. I'm trying to find this article about the Gene Hackman optics. For the people just getting here, Mr. Cage, it's good to see you, sir. Gene Hackman, as they're currently hacking man's genes, killing us softly, who also died. Roberta Flack, singer of Killing Me Softly. With the gene editing, is that possible? Is that just all synchronistic? Do I have apophenia connecting these dots? Because I haven't heard anyone else say it like this, but so you also have the optics with the movie Enemy of the State, right? Where I should have played that, but I was getting in trouble earlier from playing clips from the movie. But one that I had was edited, so it shouldn't be an issue, I wouldn't think. But then, of course, my thoughts don't always work. Let me see something. Yeah, I think the Epstein Files shit is all a distraction. It's possible that Epstein isn't even real. It's just a complete creation. I don't know. Oh, okay, my bad. Good to see you, sir.
How you been, brother?
Good, man. I was offline for months, dude. Completely, pretty much completely offline.
I know, because the grandma and everything, right?
Because what? Yeah, my grandma passed, and then yeah, I thought you said Graham, because I actually did start going back on Instagram recently, and that's kind of how I got back into posting on there. I started posting on there a little bit, just to my story, and then around the same time I started streaming again. But I've only done this is only my 5th stream probably.
Man, grandma's always here either way.
She is, dude. 5 months today, actually, man, and I do still feel her. So I feel you on that. I kind of think it's like you amalgamate people who pass, you kind of who are a pivotal, who are a huge component of your beingness, like how you came to be what you are, or what you think you are anyway. Because I'm not this body, I'm not even this mind, right? But
I can tell you've been doing the work, my friend.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, man, because I was going to ask Machine Lies what he knew about it, because he gets into the Esalen Institute stuff a little bit. I don't know if you're aware of Esalen Institute, but Ram Dass, I've been reading his 2nd book, and I haven't even read his 1st book, Be Here Now, which the book is really well done. Like, it just looks crazy, man. They got all these pictures, and it's just really well done artistically and stuff. And it came out around like the height of the hippie movement. And Beans is trying to climb up on the laptop. What up, bud? Look at this cat. This looks like my first cat, Rocky. This is I'm at my neighbor's crib, and this cat just hangs out outside. Look at this cat, dude. It's just like my first cat. I don't know if you can really see it though. He's like my first cat times 2, because my first cat was skinny, and this guy's fucking like a damn cheetah.
Bro, you're the mango man.
Yeah, but it's not mango season yet, actually, unfortunately.
But it will be.
It will be in May.
Yeah, I've been squeezing limes actually lately.
Oh, what do you have, a tree?
Apparently, but yeah, no, but you're gonna. What about the pomegranate? Have you ever looked into the pomegranate and how it's like?
Pomegranates are extremely good for a variety of reasons, man.
It is, and how it's like, in ancient Egypt, it was like, there's some symbology to it. You should look
there's
up
properties in-
pomegranate Egypt. Let's go into that.
Yeah, there's some extremely powerful properties in pomegranate that are only in pomegranate. But then again, a lot of
Well,
plants
it's very
have-
high in something called anthocyanins.
right, super high in anthocyanidins and cyanins. Yeah, for sure. Just for one, high in antioxidants.
Yeah,
high
it's
in a
like
whole
you
lot
can
of-
dye something with it, right? So it's like, usually like pigments like that was like one of the first forms of dyeing something. Like dyeing like a shirt a certain color or whatever, making different colors of garments.
I'm trying to see. I don't really like using these mainstream search platforms, but because I don't use Brave anymore, I'm trying to see if do I have Brave on here? That was my old laptop. I think I don't have Brave downloaded.
You can grab it quick if you want.
What's a good search engine that you use? Do you use anything in particular?
Depends what you're trying to find.
Well, I'm trying to find like better articles that let me see something.
DuckDuckGo is pretty good.
Yeah, they got bought out though. It's not what it used to be, and doesn't work how I used to like it to. It doesn't work like it used to. I mean, that's what I meant to say.
Well, then you're gonna have to go onto the Onion.
Oh, this guy hasn't been posting. The Onion.
Tor browser. Then.
Yeah, I don't have all that. I'd have to download all that shit. Anyway, so I was checking out a little bit of this, but it's touching on some sensitive topics, kind of, sort of. Your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio?
There's one maybe if you can search up Dolphin. I think the Dolphin can on the clear net or whatever surface net. You could use Dolphin.
You want to see some interesting
I'm not sure
shit
if they're still around or they changed their name or something, but if they're still around, you can search up Dolphin browser.
Oh, okay.
Try it right now.
Dolphin browser. Hold on, let me see. Give me a second. Why is it not working? So yeah, what have you been up to, man? Same old shit.
Developing, you know what I mean? Same old, really.
Word on the street, Da Vinci created first grenada from studying the pomegranate. Da Vinci created the first grenada from studying the pomegranate. Yandex, true. Yeah. Yandex isn't bad, actually.
I was going to bring that up, but that's more like Russianized, right? The Dolphin browser, no one's heard of. So I was trying to give you something like, no one's going to bring up.
Right. Yeah, I'll look back into that. I have it here. I'm just gonna do this really quick though, so I don't have to download because I think I have to download that, right? Obviously.
Yeah, and then you'll get a whole different, and then we can start searching and stuff and digging into shit if you like. We didn't use fucking echolocation on them. How come someone said they're scared of Delta or something?
See,
like
you see how that works? That's a little better, right? Because I use Yandex. I type in gene HackMen and gene editing, right? Because that's kind of where I'm trying to, what I'm trying to get into, right? And then sure enough, what comes up is Tommy's website. So Tommy Truthful. So that's a good point because I actually was just wondering what he's been up to. And
all
check
right,
out
so
this article.
now do it with the Dolphin. Put the same thing into all the different browsers and see the consistency between them all. And try doing the Dolphin one. I'm sure it'll get someone else.
Yeah, but I have to download that, right?
Just like that's fine. just because it's not pre-installed into the fucking system.
All right, so you think
You
it's a
have to be-
trustworthy thing, huh? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
A fast,
yes.
private, and smart web browser. A fast, private, and smart web browser. All right, whatever. We'll try it out.
Yes.
150
Yes.
downloads. All right. What do I have to lose, right? Dolphins are trustworthy. I watched this video on how the dolphin birth ritual, dolphin, not even ritual, dolphin birthing. Here, I'm trying to log into my fucking, so I can show you this video. Why isn't it working, man? Hold on. Ah, I see. That's why. All right.
Explore the world with your best friend. What are you doing?
Trying to show you this video.
I'm gonna do
I don't know if I'll be able to find the right one though. I'll just show you one that I was watching now.
You should add me on there.
I think I have you. Pretty
Well,
sure I got
they
you.
tried.
How'd you?
They tried taking down one of the. If you have the other account, yeah, I'm gonna get it back up. It'll appear back. Yeah.
What is it? The Fall was one of them, I think. But yeah, shout out to Donut. He used to get into the Donut Illuminati optics too. But where's it at? Oh, it probably wouldn't be on. It would have been on his story, so maybe Reels. No, damn. You know, I'm still learning. Like, I still forget how, you know, when people post. No, wait, it wasn't a story though. I thought it was a post. That's weird. Confused now. Maybe it was on a story. Here, I could probably just look up. Shit's crazy. I really wanted these sandals that have like, just like somehow have grass made into the sole of the shoe. Let me see if I can find it with dolphin birthing. Dolphin birthing centers? Yeah, that's crazy. Nah. Dolphin birth? It's probably not going to come up, man. What is this one?
Yeah, bro. You can look up when you get the dolphin thing. You can look it up and look up Dolphin Square. And this is where in London, in the UK, all the intelligence agencies link up over there. You know,
Are you
the
talking?
MI6, CIA.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know you were talking, dude. I was playing that video. What are you saying?
We can't hear the video on our end.
Really? Couldn't hear
Yeah.
that?
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. What do they got going on now? Hold on. You guys can't hear that on your end? Can anyone hear that?
I can't. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, maybe because you're listening through the through StreamYard. Can you guys hear that on your end? No.
Well, the
Oh,
chat let us know. Right? I'm pretty sure
Yeah, it
no.
says-
Yeah.
Damn.
No one can hear the video, man. I'm not trying to interrupt the video, but no one can hear it. You know.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's weird that it's doing that. Maybe if I just remove it, try it again. But what were you saying though? Were you trying to tell? But that's you were just trying to tell me that.
You gotta hit the audio tab after. You know, share system audio.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I know that. I mean, I know how to do this. Why is it saying I'm not? Oh my gosh, dude, what's happening right now? Yes, also share tab audio. Yeah, I had it selected. Dude.
System audio or just
Dolphin assisted burst
now we can hear.
far
Now
more
we can hear
advanced
us.
than the average child. For example, they could talk and walk earlier. They would grow up being the head of their class and having to skip some years of school. And some went on to get full rides at Harvard, and so many more examples. It is hypothesized that during the birthing process, the dolphins heal and boost the systematic function of these babies by telepathically communicating with it. Why do you think it's illegal to interact with dolphins unless at a specific resort like SeaWorld? They're not trying to protect them and trying to keep us dumbed down. Dolphins are the keepers of lost knowledge and healing wisdom. Peace and love. The shocking truth.
What do you call it?
Yeah, there's a guy that Joe Rogan mentions that if for some reason his name is like the walrus whisperer. You know what I mean? He protects marine animals and does all this shit. And yeah, for some reason he always used to like on my original account, he would like and comment on all my posts for some reason. But then I heard Rogan. I don't think it was on Rogan, but he's like, "Oh, you ever heard of the guy, the walrus whisperer?" It's kind of
It's
funny.
fucking ridiculous, man. Yeah, I tried to hop on TML stream earlier, but I only was on the backstage for like a minute, and then I just kind of did some other shit, and then I was gonna hop on again, but I got distracted, or try to hop on, but I got distracted. So, what is this?
First off, you guys do know the Pentagon has a budget for film. Like, there's a whole department in the
I know that.
That's a fact. There you go. That's all you need to know. There's an entire department in the Pentagon. They get involved with films, and they get involved with films for the purpose of propaganda. They always have.
Hit certain people, and this was before we called things promotion and marketing. You know what I mean? That's Hollywood is not really there to entertain you. Like, that's great that happens, but propaganda is something that is important to all civilizations.
What movies have
I
they
should have
produced?
said Pentagon instead of CIA. Tons of them. I should show you the list. You should pull it up. It's
Google it right now.
wild. Yeah,
Absolutely,
Pentagon
please.
Department for Hollywood. Tons of them.
I have to
Even
report this.
Transformers. Even Transformers, like, because they're concerned about certain narratives. They get involved with like World War films, like How Are We Telling a Story About History? Usually it's because we're lying about what we did or trying not to make Americans aware of the crimes against humanity that we commit overseas,
Yeah, the Pentagon has funded some films: Black Hawk Down, Red Dawn, GoldenEye.
The more you know. So now you understand your experience in theaters is what your government wants you to think. They want you to think that this is how things happen, and it's usually not at all how things have actually happened.
6 of the best movies made with help from the Department of Defense. This is military.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of off topic from what what I was trying to get into, but shout out to Tribe. Good to see you, sir. Why is it not working now? To streamer. It says, what is happening? What? Yeah, it's fucking with me, man. I switched tabs and it's not sharing the right tab.
Well, that's because if you look at the top of the the browser, you put in the web bar, right? You should be able to. It'll say like share this tab there.
Yeah, so it's an interesting point because I've actually thought of the same thing. What Tribe's saying is that in this specific literal what he's saying that it's not just the ones that are stupid enough to get caught. Of course, they have such advanced equipment now. But yeah, you figure if they have the type of detection system that they really seem to, then they would even be able to detect a lot of military grade equipment, and certain silent weapons require.
Well, the internet was based, like the Tor project and the internet. The internet was based on of fucking military technology.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
That's what it started with. It started as a military application.
What's that? What did?
The internet.
Right. Yeah. Well, DARPANet. It was originally called DARPANet. Little fun fact there. Before it was called the internet, it was called the DARPANet. Kind of like how Facebook was called Project LifeLog before it became.
If you have a bad connection, just plug in your Ethernet cable.
Yeah, I have some laying around somewhere, but I gotta find them. I kind of want to see if Tommy gets into any of the optics I'm talking about with the, the editing that they're doing with the Gene Hackman. If you catch my play on words there. But I'm reading what he.
You know what's hilarious, Daniel? Okay.
What? I'm listening, sir.
Yeah, the doctor, it's even on the card that gave me when I was born, apparently. They said, the doctor that, apparently, my doctor that, I have the doctor that births you, not really births you, that's around in the birth, and you got nurses all day, so Dr. Trapman.
Dr. Trappin?
Trapman.
Interesting name.
Yeah.
Interesting name, bro.
That's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember who the other death was. There was Roberta Flack, and then there was Gene Hackman or Michelle Trachtenberg, and then Gene Hackman, I think. But I think there was another one, a fourth one. But for the most part, deaths always come in threes. It seems like there's a lot of always big celebrity deaths that happen in threes. Dolphins play games with each other. So.
Well, back to the Dolphins.
Classic
movie. Have you got the Dolphin? Yeah, Dolphins can apparently do math and shit. And, there's one lady that is teaching Dolphins math. And she, lived with them and everything. And
wow,
they had to cut the experiment, and the Dolphins try to commit suicide after.
I'm surprised that Tommy's putting this dude Truth Is on here. Isn't this fucking isn't this channel owned by Sneeko or whatever? Or am I off on that? Or not Sneeko, my bad. I'm dumb. It's the guy who did he went viral though, I think, for a video on Sneeko. I kind of want to watch this. I thought this channel is certified shillery. I'm curious to see a snippet of this.
Guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the strange death of the legendary actor Gene Hackman. Let's get right into it. Celebrities dying in mysterious ways is almost becoming common news nowadays. With so many celebrities dying under strange circumstances with little to no explanation, we are often told that these celebrities' deaths were caused by substances or other reasons. But so many of these situations leave the world puzzled, trying to put the pieces together.
I might be mixing this channel up with another channel. I don't know.
We recently saw this with the death of the One Direction artist Liam Payne, who passed away quite mysteriously after tipping over a balcony of his hotel room. While people were eventually arrested for this, the mystery was never truly solved, leaving what happened to Liam Payne unknown to the world. It was the same thing with the Friends actor Matthew Perry, who days before his demise posted several quoted Instagram posts. Matthew passed away after somehow drowning in a hot tub. His passing to this day remains mysterious. Now, the new name on this list is the legendary actor Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman is known for movies like Superman, where he plays Lex Luthor, or Enemy of the State, where he plays Brill. It is now being reported that the legendary actor passed away under some very mysterious circumstances. The actor, who was already in his 90s and left Hollywood long ago, was discovered by police in his home dead, alongside his wife and one of the family's dogs. This has left so many people with so many questions. Although he was already 95 years old, and it's normal for a man of his age to pass, the fact that his 65-year-old wife was also found gone in the home, along with the family's dog, is making all of this highly suspicious. This is what the media is reporting now. Gene and his wife were discovered by a group of maintenance men who went to the property to do some work. When they arrived at the property, they discovered the front door open and then saw the bodies of Gene and his wife. The maintenance man then contacted the authorities. Strangely, although he reported that the door was open when he arrived, he told the 911 operator he wasn't able to get inside.
Yeah, I'm over at your property. There's no address here, so I have to meet down there, the ambulance or the police, whoever, down at the gatehouse. I'll bring them up here.
Okay. How old is the patient?
I have no idea.
You don't know? Okay, that's fine. Is the patient a male or female?
A female and a male, probably. I don't know, sir. Just send somebody up here real quick.
Okay. Are they awake?
I have no idea.
Are they breathing?
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see that she's laying down on the floor from the window.
When the 911 operator asked him if he noticed them breathing, he said, "I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I can see she's laying down on the floor from the window." When the police arrived, they found Hackman's body laying in the entrance hallway of the home, while his wife was found in a bathroom, with the dog's body being found in a kennel near the bathroom. Two other dogs were found on the property, one inside of the home near the bathroom, and another dog outside the home running around. They also found a bottle of prescription pills scattered all over a counter. The police eventually got a search.
Can we pause it quick, please?
And I sped it up. Super speed, dude. You remember me, man.
You're still doing this shit.
You remember me, bro.
But either way, but I was saying,
people don't change.
So you know what that was, right? I guaranteed they're in a little club. They did a fucking initiation. And they fucked around and found out. That's what happens.
I mean, to be fair, he was
And now-
95,
Oh,
you know, but
that's we're gonna let them suffer, and then we're gonna move them in a certain way after. That's how these people. These people play the long game, you know.
yeah, well, Killing Me Softly.
Yeah.
That lady died right before him, and then you got the Gene Hackman.
It's like the frog in the fucking water.
You know, I
You
can't really
slowly
say
increase
certain
the
things,
temperature,
obviously,
and
on
they
this
can't
platform,
jump
but
out after.
when you spell certain things a different way, like that one thing that came around that they were calling a variant, and it was called
Omicron.
Well, that's one way of saying it differently, but here, I'll just type it out without really spelling it.
It doesn't
perfectly.
matter. What about it?
So that right there, obviously, when you scramble it, is moronic, right? Because you have to be moronic to believe any of the variants, right? Because variant just means change, to change, right? And what were they doing with all the experiments they were doing on people in 2020 and 2021? They were changing them, right? So they were actually just, you know, like many would probably theorize. I'm not saying I would do. I'm theorizing that, but that the side effects were just showing as what they were calling, you know, variants, right? And so when you scramble the Omicron word there, you also get Oncomere and Normico. And Normico is a type of nano tech, right? So, and then Oncomere is a micro R to the N to the A that stops gene expression. So, yeah, you can't really talk about that kind of stuff on here, which is why I'm talking like a fucking cryptic master. But
search warrants a search.
I think you get what I'm getting at.
The home for any potential evidence. According to the authorities, while the death does seem suspicious, they didn't identify any foul play.
Not normal to find two people deceased in a residence. That's concerning. And then there was also a dog that was in a kennel that was also found deceased. There was no immediate sign of foul play. I haven't ruled that out yet. This is an investigation, so we're keeping everything on the table. You know, I think the autopsy is going to tell us a lot, and any evidence that we collect.
As of now, they claim to not have seen any wounds or any signs of forced entry. They did find it suspicious that the front door was open when they arrived. The authorities claim that they didn't notice any gas odor or signs of gas leaks. They did have the gas company check the gas lines connected to the home to see if it was a possible leak, but it was confirmed by the gas company that the gas lines were operating properly and no leak was discovered. Also, it was reported that the fire department checked the home for signs of a carbon monoxide leak, but didn't find anything. The authorities are also reporting that the couple was gone for a long time before they were discovered, as the bodies were already decomposing and mummifying when they arrived. The police concluded that there were no signs of a struggle and no signs of anything being stolen either. They have ordered a toxicology and an autopsy on the couple and are waiting for the results that can take days or even weeks to come in. Now, to me, this entire situation seems completely strange and it doesn't make any sense. I know Gene Hackman was in his 90s, but the fact that his wife, who was only 65, and his dog was also dead doesn't seem normal to me. How could this have happened naturally? It's hard for me to believe that they all just passed away from natural causes together. Now, the pills being scattered everywhere could indicate it was substance related, but the police have ruled out the fact that they have taken themselves out. I have seen many people claiming that the deaths could have somehow been caused by carbon monoxide poisoning, but like I already stated, the fire department didn't notice any signs of carbon monoxide being in the home, and the gas company checked the lines. Also, the fact that one of the dogs was found in the home alive suggests it couldn't be carbon monoxide, as both the dogs in the house would be gone. I don't think that this was related to carbon monoxide or any gas leaks. To me, the fact that the front door was open could suggest that someone besides Gene and his wife were in that house. Maybe someone managed to get inside and did something to them. It could also be a possibility that either Gene or his wife could have done this to themselves, one of them giving the other a laced drink and then themselves ending it. But considering that Gene was a 95-year-old man and his wife was 65 years old, it doesn't seem like something that they would have done. One thing that I did find really suspicious was the fact that the maintenance man who called in the incident to the police stated that he had found the front door open, but when he was asked to go inside the house and check on the couple, he claimed that all the doors were locked and that he couldn't get in. That was extremely suspicious to me, as in one moment he told the dispatchers that the front door was open, but then everything was locked. Which one was it? We know from the police report that the front door was indeed open. It seems like whoever called this in should definitely be looked into. For some reason, he didn't want to go in that home. Now, don't get me wrong, it could be because he didn't want to walk into a house because of the bodies, or maybe he was afraid to mess with the crime scene and somehow implicate himself. Still, I believe he should be investigated. To me, I don't just see it being natural causes. It's hard for me to believe that. I also found it suspicious how all the medications were spread all over the counter. To me, that seems staged. Someone could have opened the bottle and spread it on the counter to make it seem like it was substance related. So many celebrities are said to have passed away due to substances. Liam Payne and Matthew Perry both claim to be using substances when they passed away. So many other celebrities have passed away with substances in their system or with substances nearby. It's like the go-to excuse for when celebrities pass away. They always blame it on substances. The thing is, I don't believe a 95-year-old man would take himself out using substances. I also don't think his wife would take him out and then take herself out. None of it makes sense. If she had remained alive, then I would be suspicious of her, as in some disturbing cases, we see the wife knock off her rich husband for life insurance or to inherit his money. But that's not the case here at all, as his wife also passed away. I am confident with what is being reported now that someone did something to them. The fact that the front door was open to me indicates someone was in the house before they passed away. The fact that the pills were found scattered in the house, like I said, seems like it was set up. I can only wonder if this strange, mysterious death is connected to his time in Hollywood. If we have learned anything over the years, is that celebrities are often taken out. Hollywood has to make its yearly sacrifices. But in this situation, there doesn't seem to be any indication of that. It's not like Gene was still actively acting. He had been retired years ago. It doesn't seem like he was still in the Hollywood mix. Although, I will say that you can't always be sure. Gene was a massive Hollywood star. He was named one of the top actors ever. He had several awards under his belt, including 2 Oscar awards. Gene wasn't a nobody. At one point, he was the definition of a Hollywood superstar. We know that to make it to the level he was in Hollywood, you have to pay that price. Considering the movies he was in and the success he had, it's obvious he did something to make it to the top. What's crazy is that on top of Gene and his wife dying on February 26th, so did another famous actress, Michelle Trachtenberg. Michelle is famous for shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Gossip Girls. Just like the legendary actor Gene Hackman, she passed away unexpectedly on February 26th. Just like Gene, Michelle was also found dead in her home. Strangely, there is no cause of death listed. It's actually being listed as undetermined for what is being called religious reasons, as her mother refused to do an autopsy, adding more mystery to her death. Some reports state that she didn't look good days before.
Yeah, so even the even someone like Harriet the Spy, for a little pun and reference there, could see that there's something kind of like, oddly synchronistic, for lack of a better term, and just to keep it non-conspiratorial, theoretical. Something here, with their death on the
All
same
right,
day.
but you know what it's doing though, Pineal, right?
What's that?
Grabbing your attention.
Right. I guess that, that is one of the main points of it. Kind of like this meme I'm looking at here, right? How do I?
Mimetic magic.
work?
Remember? Search
Here's
up the
mimetic
book,
magic right
Mimetic
here.
Magic. Yeah. Come on. Bro, we're too old for this shit at this point. We're like the same age, man. Your shit's glitching. Mimetic magic. Never. Oh, there you go. We see the Ouroboros. They're doing it on purpose. Back to the beginning of the end. Welcome back. I'm gonna mute. Hopefully, Pineal will be back quickly. When the internet problems, the internet fucking problems will resolve themselves, and he'll be back.
Did you hold it? Did you hold it down there for a minute, man?
Well, yeah, of course. Welcome back, bro.
Yeah, that was about a minute and a half. Probably. So sorry about that. You know what it is? I was just about to show this meme, kind of in relation to what you were saying there.
Cutting out a little
But
bit.
all this
Pineal.
Zelensky theater bullshit in the DMs there. Say that again. Yeah, the Zelensky theater bullshit with Trump meeting Zelensky and like acting like they're, this WWE match, verbal jujitsu between them, all while they're doing this bullshit Epstein files release. Again, what if he's not even real? I mean, can you consider this notion that in the age of
Honestly, have you seen what I've been doing with the have you been
creations?
seeing Pineal with the AI? Right, I can bring the AI right now to talk. You can talk to yourself. Like at that point, who is real? I've done. People argue with you with their own AI counterpart, and you can't even tell which one's the real one. So it's like, yeah, it could easily be programmed. You know what I mean? It's not under the scope of reality.
Well, yeah, and there used to be that whole
Like an
rumor
idiot,
with you,
like an
with
idiot.
you that you were actually AI, and not real. That was the
You could
thing for a
easily do
while.
it. Yeah, and then
You
I
know.
brought AI to him.
Right, and then you had the the AI kind of like videos you were doing there for a while that everyone was appreciating. And
Oh yeah, but now we can you can have yourself talk to yourself, by Neil.
what's that now?
You can literally have yourself talk to yourself.
Right.
Live right now if you want. I want to do that. I don't want to. I need permission to make a pineal AI.
Yeah, so they were saying that this chick died from natural causes, but she was 39. And other articles are talking about her having a liver transplant or whatever, and suffering from side effects of the liver transplant, possibly. But they were also, I mean, she looked like she was in pretty rough shape the last few days. But yeah, I mean, what if she just got the thing? But who knows? I don't know if she ever posted about it. So, I don't know. Is this a video or just a picture? Oh, it's just a picture. Oh no, it is a video. Hold on. What happened? But yeah, she was Harriet the Spy and in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't remember her in Gossip Girl, but that's probably because I never watched it because I'm not a Beverly Hills female. So, but it's not letting me play it. So there's that. Oh, no sound. Got it.
All right, so what's this gonna do for me?
Oh, okay. I thought it was a video. It's just a picture with a fucking song. So,
What about the dolphin browser thing?
What's that?
Remember the dolphin browser we're getting into, searching. You asked how do I?
Oh,
find
right.
that? And then looking
Yeah.
up.
So I don't have.
results on
I don't think I can get it on here because let me see. Oh, okay. Maybe I can. It only has a 3.6, dude. It's a pretty shitty rating, man.
That's actually perfect. 3, 6, and 9.
Yeah, but I mean, 3.6 out of what, 5? That's pretty terrible. That's a 7.2. I mean, I didn't
This will
even
give you, if you want real results, you'll get it from here.
3-star review, 3-star review, 1-star review. Shit.
All right, read some of the comments then. Look.
Would not allow me to sign in or create an account. Cause my phone to go buggy and black out.
Forbidden. Hold on, you never started at the beginning of that.
Yeah, so they kept getting error 403 messages, I'm guessing.
But look, yeah, so they're just mad about a bug in it. But
I used to really like using Dolphin. I'm not sure what happened to the app. It's too bad. I wish Google would remove apps that developers have abandoned and do not have continuous updates of the app because Google's lax policy. You have waste a lot of time and data downloading non-functioning apps. So
good. That's actually beneficial.
that's why I mean, the thing is, right? Oh, is this it? Dolphin 0 incognito browser?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess yeah, they probably updated it. Yeah, go to that one.
I mean,
More
this is
by
a little.
Dolphin browser. Yeah, that's the updated one.
That's a little better. 4.3 is at least that's reasonable. Could do a 4.3.
Yeah, that's the updated. Yeah, deal with that one. Look, 5 stars now, right?
All right, I'll download that one. I'll download that one. No data shared with third parties. Oh, okay. I'll believe that on a whim. You know what I mean? Why not? Why would they share my data? It's like Telegram, and it's like Telegram and Truth Social and fucking what's the one I used to have? A Signal. I still have the Signal.
I'm saying if you want a different result though, then you
All right. Well, I'm not sure. I don't know. It doesn't really show you where to download it, so I don't know what that's about. It's kind of strange.
Well, apparently you can, but the other one.
Oh wait, I'm done. Let me see. Samsung. See, it wants to download it on my phone. That's weird. How do I have my phone synced to this? I don't even have service on that phone. The fuck?
That's what you think.
Right. Good point, sir. Well, I mean, I know they can listen at it at any point, turn the camera on at any point, probably do sound, etc., etc.
Install it, and then you can go look it up and read.
See how it calls me pineal? Even Google calls me pineal. It's fascinating. Purchase successful. Purchase. Excuse me? Prior authentication. Excuse me?
Free though. You're not buying anything.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't even have any payment, anything, information connected to this. So only app installs through.
Read that entirely from the beginning to end before you click anything else.
To prevent unauthorized purchase, you can require authentication for all purchases. You need to play on any device where you sign in with Google. That does not apply to purchase. You share your devices with others. All right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't have any payment apps anyway. I don't have any financial information linked to my
All right,
Google.
so they can go fuck themselves either way, bro. They're not here to steal anything from you. They're here to give some.
What do I click here? Purchases and app installs through Play Google. Only app installs. Okay, whatever. Dude, what the fuck, man? It only wants to. I don't even know if it just downloaded onto my phone. I don't know what's going on. It's not letting me do it, dude. So I'll have to do it at another
So
time.
you got to do it 3 times if you really want it.
You're stupid, bro. You're stupid. You're not wrong, though. You're not wrong. It is the 3rd month. We have to do things in 3s sometimes, like how people die in 3s, like we were just talking about. Like how balls come in 3s, right? I'm pretty sure it's the testicles come in 3s, right? I hope that's true. Eyes should come, hopefully. ABC News uses Mumbai image from 2022 to push measles outbreak in Texas 2025. Allegedly, I'm not saying that. I'm just reading what this article says. I doubt that's true. There's no such thing as fake news or propaganda, obviously. But
News alert: the Epstein files have been released.
oh man, Gil Bates caught funding experience to make bird flu spread to humans. I doubt it.
This is
I
a Fox.
really doubt it. Can I even play this?
This is a Fox News alert. The Epstein files have been released. Fox News senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has been pouring through all the documents. Kevin, what can you tell us?
Evening, Laura. I don't want to oversell this because I don't think there's a whole lot to sell, at least so far. We'll probably learn a lot more tomorrow
We don't
morning.
want to oversell it, right?
I don't want to
We're buying
oversell.
it.
You know, I don't want to oversell this because I know that it's quite possible that this is literally all fake AI, CIA AI created nonsense. So, is what he really means to say.
I'm a real Can I show you something? Can you put me full screen? Can I show you something?
What do you think about this new term? We can get it going. CIAI.
Hold on, yeah,
That sound-
perfect. Can I show you something though? Like in reality,
What do you mean?
something that my mom found and gave to me.
Yo. Yeah, you could show me. How do you do it? Just drop the link.
No, I'm gonna put my camera on. You can put me full screen. On StreamYard, you can put me full screen on camera. Like, look, I'll show you it. Yeah, and then hold on for a minute here. Well, this apple never rots. It's been in the fridge since I lived here. But hold on, give me a second here too. Look at this. It's funny because how other things come to you. You know what I mean? I never shown you this because you've been gone for since then. But yeah, look at that.
Pretty interesting that you would have that. I would want to ask you.
Yeah, that came to me. It's made out of pure gold.
What do you guys think? CIAI? CIAI that I have here on
No, this is real, bro.
I'm scared now. I'm concerned.
Why?
Sir, are you friends with Paranoid American?
I have never heard of that guy.
Is he in your fraternal lodges by any chance?
I'm not a part of any of that shit.
Who do you swear to?
No. I meet eye to eye with everybody.
All right. Well, let's continue this nonsense really quick, and then I'm going to wrap it up soon because I don't want to be too loud because it's late and I'm at my neighbor's, and Yeah.
That 8 a.m. deadline that the AG has given the FBI in New York to turn over everything in their possession. But let me back up for just a second. The Attorney General, you recall last night, called it breaking news. She promised that we would get the Epstein files today. And while that turned out technically to be true, what we've seen so far, critics have argued tonight, really hasn't lived up to the dramatic billing. Now, we began the day with somewhat high expectation, having seen some influencers with so-called Epstein file folders. But that began to fizzle just a bit because we really didn't get a lot of new information. So once we saw that, we wondered, what about the Attorney General's? Was she holding back? Well, she actually wrote a letter, Laura, to the FBI director, Kash Patel, suggesting that the FBI's New York office, which collected material from the SDNY, that's the Southern District of New York, it seemed to be, for lack of a better description, stonewalling, holding back key materials. Now, the FBI director, obviously concerned about this, went on X, and Director Patel wrote a fairly lengthy post in it. He said there'll be no cover-ups and no missing documents and no stone left unturned. And anyone from the prior or current Bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. He went on to say if there are gaps, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them, and we will bring everything we
Now we're
find
talking.
to the DOJ to be fully assessed and transparently disseminated to the American people as it should be. So you may be wondering, okay, after all that, Kevin, what do we have? Well, so far we do have 7 flight logs. We have an Epstein contact book. We have a masseuse list, which strangely was redacted. Now, I should add this as well, Laura. Many of the names that we saw on the flight logs, at least so far, mirrored some of the names that we've seen before. There was obviously a criminal action that involved Ghislaine Maxwell. Some of the names on that flight log list, we've already seen those before. But what was interesting so far tonight, and I'm still going through it, we did see a few names in that contact book I told you about. Among them, Michael Bloomberg, Alec Baldwin, and former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair. Again, we're still going through it. As I get more information, I promise to pass it along, but that's what I have so far.
This is a Fox News alert. The Epstein.
Gee, it sounds legit. I mean, you know.
That's awesome. You know, I like that Will Ferrell fucking reference there.
Yeah, I can't believe he passed away too, man. Everyone's dying these days.
Will Ferrell died?
Apparently. Didn't he?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I don't keep up with that.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't think he's dead. But is he even real? I don't know.
You ever seen, I don't know why, when I seen that one with the news anchor, I remember that one from that movie. You remember the one, Bruce Almighty, with Jim Carrey? You should watch Bruce Almighty, bro. Yeah, number 23.
I've seen it probably a dozen times, dude.
I know you have.
How do you feel about him supposedly being a chief of the Satanic Church in L.A. or near L.A.?
He's from my city. Well, not my city. He's from the city. We're from the same city, really.
Which is where?
Toronto.
So he's a Canadian too?
Yep. Same with the guy in the
Canadian?
Matrix. Neo in the Matrix is Canadian too.
You mean in real life or in the movie?
In real life, he's Canadian.
Yeah, there's a lot of Chinadians, man. I'm aware that there's a lot of people in the
Canada.
Of China. Fully aware of that. Did you?
No,
did
it's
you
not
see
that
the,
though. Like we deal with things a bit different. I mean, we're not American. Like, yeah, we're all North American, but yeah, we deal and handle with things a bit differently over here. But yeah, Keanu Reeves or whatever, and then you got Jim Carrey, and then you got there's so many people you can list and all from this city, apparently.
So hold on. Let's see if this dude posted about it. Probably not. Nope. Just gonna see if anyone else posted about the Gene Hackman optics. That's on my wavelength. That's digging into some other deeper. Man, people I guess aren't really active on here anymore. Shit.
I'm still here, man. Like I was busy at the time. Like I seen when you first came back, and you did like, your stream. You didn't stay on for long. I think you were at a pool place, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
At the
I want to
pool
start doing
lounge or
the shorter streams. For some reason, out of all the
I
Hollywood,
was gonna hit the link, but then like you're shutting down the show either way, you know. So I was gonna ask for the link to come and join you, but you know you ended it quick.
yeah, I had to get out of there. I started the
It
stream too
closed.
late.
Yeah, it was about to close, right?
Yeah, I don't know why I thought they were a place I was open super late, but I guess not.
Some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Which ones? The Trump-Russia witch hunt, Jeffrey Epstein, JFK assassination, the misuse of the Patriot Act, the Iraq War, the weapons of mass destruction, the war in Ukraine, the bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline, the open border migration caravans, the climate change scam, chemtrails, and HARP, and 9/11 being an inside job, and the Internet of Things surveillance grid, and PFAs, and chemicals in the water turning everyone gay, and the 2020 election being stolen, and January 6th being filled with undercover feds, and Bilderberg and Bohemian Grove, and global government, not to mention gain-of-function research and the threat of China, and collapsing birth rates, and defund the police, and George Soros, and mail-in ballots, and big tech censorship, and disinformation agencies, and Obama's birth certificate, and probably some others I can't think of. I mean, so a few of them. I guess a couple of them have been true.
Some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Conspiracy theory,
What's the
misinformation, and
IP name so I can add you on there?
IP?
So no, IG.
Yeah, I already got you on here, man.
No, because
I'm pretty
they've
sure.
been trying to fuck around and take. No, it's Delta not. That's not me, man. So you gotta search Delta non-organics. Number 9. No.
Non-organic?
Number 9, Delta, and then 9, number 9. Organics. Come on, man.
Like that?
No. You have to get rid of the first 9. No, that's not me. You gotta get rid of the first 9 at the beginning of it. And then go Organics 4.0. They got .0. Yeah. There, that's me with the
4.0, huh?
Yeah, they tried taking my shit down. The guy got exposed terribly.
Wow. Should have figured, man. I should have figured, sir. Yo, check this out.
I'm all cool on that fake shit, and I keep my grass cut to see that snake shit. Man, put my name on it, make me respect it. I'm talking face to face shit. You ain't gotta like me, but you sure gotta respect me. I'm cool on that fake shit, and I keep my grass cut to see that snake shit. Man, put my name on it, make me respect it. I'm talking face to face. I'm all cool on that fake shit.
Yeah, so I really want to get one of these because, man, I mean, just imagine what you can do with one of these things. I mean, imagine going around and like in a Jeff Bezos skin suit, dude. You know? Like, yeah, it's me. It's Jeff. What's up, guys? All right, you're sending me shit. I see you, dude. I see you, man. Hold on.
Go into the DMs. Can we go picture by picture and like tease some or something through what happens? Go to the DMs. I send you a direct message. You have to accept it. And we can go
I'm pretty sure.
picture by.
I'm pretty sure I don't have. Oh, yeah, it's a new account. So, yeah, I guess you're right.
You have
I
a
guess
direct
you're right.
message.
Hold on, man.
Yeah, there. No, go from the beginning and click each image, and we can go through them and read them. Look, we got Jerry Springer, and then start from the left bottom.
You know my grandma knew Jerry Springer, right? Yeah, I'm going to
I'm
show a
sure.
video of my grandma's, a segment of my grandma's show where Jerry Springer gives her a shout out on the show. It's on YouTube, actually. It's fucking funny.
Well, after we go through these messages, please.
I can't ask her. She's well. I guess I can
then go from one to another.
Why do you have to? If you report other people from the community because they don't want to buy your products, or they don't. Right. I agree.
Watch after. Keep going.
Have to read everything.
Yeah, read it, please. Can you?
I am reading it. Well,
Can you read it out loud so we can all hear it?
Brand as competitors at all. Wish everyone success and prosperity. Lots of us come from the same places with the same goals, and we all share the same love for the plant. Yeah, I've never grown, dude. Not really. Never passed a baby.
All right, let's keep going though.
On top of them, hating won't get you anywhere.
All right, keep going though.
Get stuffed. What is this? Oh, I thought that was Jack Nicholson at first. Man charged with assault after allegedly attacking. Yeah, I know all about that. Activists say was used to mock. Wait, what? Oh, plush toy. Activists say was used to mock dead Jayish children. Jayish, huh? Jayish, you say? The fuck is this?
Some guy going around fucking with people.
What?
There's a guy who got my shit, or he attempted to get a bunch of people's shit taken down. Now I have people taken outside of his house.
And what's this random tree?
Huh.
What was up with that tree? What's the explanation of that tree?
Well, nail it down.
Yeah, so I actually haven't been smoking, dude, for like 2 months, and I just broke it just here on the stream. I hit a bowl one time, man, and it wasn't enough to. But it's all good. I'm just chilling, dude. I don't have a desire to really pick anything back up. I kind of did also relapse on the nicotine a few times. Oh shit. Look at that. It's Pale Horse Rider. I actually wouldn't mind watching one of Pale Horse Rider's videos really quick because it's actually pretty on point with what the stream is about. Oh, he has no posts? Come on, how are you gonna have no posts, man? Let me see something here. Pale Horse. Or actually, I have it in my. I probably have it in my files. Hold on. But yeah, in all these videos, man, they put these optics in your face, and this is just one of them with the black goo, man. It's so strange, dude. It's so strange. Or like at the New Year's Eve thing with the the Space Needle, the CGI Space Needle. I mean, hey, we'll watch this one first, and then I'm gonna go to that other one. Yeah, I hear a lot about the THCA. A lot of people speak highly of it compared to the other random new creations that are probably all government creations. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm probably not.
I don't think people understand what THCA is really. What that is before there's some sort of like acid removal in it, right? It's tetrahydrocannabinol, whatever, delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol.
Yeah.
Which is THCA, but it's the acidic form of it. So over time, or through oxidation, or through heat, like when you burn it, it gets activated, it has an effect on the body. I mean, it's called decarbonization. So yeah, THCA is just regular cannabis. What they do is they sell at the gas stations in the U.S. is they take CBD, something legally, and what they do is they synthesize it. And it's like a precursor to Delta 8. It's not the real thing, right? 7, 8, 9, but either way, yeah. The real stuff's the Delta 9. And, naturally. But yeah, THC and THC is simply the only difference between them is oxidation, or you can do it different ways, like burning it or just letting it sit out in sunlight and air. Right? That's all it is. Yeah, the Delta 8 is not natural. You know what I mean? It has to be synthesized. It is natural in like minute amounts. It's not natural. They should be like consuming that. It's like
Yeah,
a
have you seen any of
synthetic.
the
It's a
videos exposing
synthetic.
all the
Yeah.
Say that again?
I'm just saying it's synthetic in a way.
Have you seen the video like breaking down all these different brands of like oil carts and vapes? You know, that you can find everywhere really.
I don't fuck with that. I
Dozens
don't
of
sell any of that shit. All I do is like kief or flour. Right? In natural form, I don't do concentrates like that.
right.
Because now it's like, it's like turning like the coca plant. And like the coca plant's been used for centuries as like an anesthetic or whatever, right? Like to locally numb a certain place, like just from the leaf. And you just rub the leaf on like a wound or whatever and help you heal. But then all of a sudden people get, they start doing experiments of like taking that and then extracting the alkaloid and creating cocaine. And then from there, they take it a step further and like mix it with baking powder and make crack. And then, the government does that, CIA, whatever.
CIA.
Yeah, and then they, release that onto the people, and then fucking go. It's like we're gonna release a bunch of shit onto people, and they go hunting for it after. It's like fish. It's like fish. We're gonna create the barrel, put some water in there, make sure everything so they can survive in there, kind of thing. And then we're gonna shoot them and fish them out every time. And then also create. I don't know. These people are sick. That's all pretty much what it is. It's a massive psyop, and we're participating in it. In a way, we're all participating in it.
You could say life is a massive psyop, and it is 3:33, sir. Actually, right at this moment, it's 3:33. But I'll tell you why I'm not going to end the stream. Is because even though it's 2 hours and 46 minutes in, and 2 times 23 is 46, and it is 3/2. I'd rather go to 3 hours and 2 minutes because it's 3/2, since that will be in about.
I'll be here for a bit. I have to finish watering the plants either way. I'd
Yeah, well,
rather
that's
just talk
about
to you as
16 more minutes. So I'm gonna play the rest of that decode of the Space Needle in a minute.
It's not illegal to create a biological lab.
I got 5.
We're now learning more about a biological.
Can you hear this or no?
I can hear. I got 5 on in the background too. If you have music.
Yeah, I got 5 on it indeed.
Lab in Reedley that's been shut down by the Fresno County Department of Public Health. Fox 26 reporter Rich Rodriguez explains what kind of testing took place for months in a warehouse no one in town says they knew about.
From October 2022 until spring 2023, this warehouse at 850 I Street in Reedley was operating a biological lab. It was a well-kept secret. After seeing signs of activity there, the city of Reedley asked Fresno County Department of Public Health to investigate.
Just a significant amount of over like 36 refrigerator freezers located on
federal agencies.
Get it?
Prado says.
So yeah, potentially a lot of HackMen's genes out there in these shady
satanic eugenicists, Panyo.
Yeah, well, I thought of an interesting term, and I wanted to look up if it's actually how they use it to refer to. Here, let me just look it up because I'm sure it is actually the word, and it's not just me thinking of a nifty. Oh, eugenocide, not eugenicide. Eugenocide. Oh no, I see it also spelled as eugenicide here.
But don't you kind of feel bad for them?
So the most commonly suggested.
I'm asking by Neil. Don't you kind of feel bad for them in a way?
Gas chambers? Yeah, I mean, allegedly my great grandparents.
No, I'm asking. Don't you kind of feel bad for them in a way?
In one of the concentration camps, but if that's
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you. I'm replying to you. Do I feel bad for who?
Ignorant people.
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely do, sir. All right, let's check this out. Let's finish this.
Hold on. Can I say something quick?
Of course you can.
Yeah, in high school, no one ever really went over there. You know, everyone gets a diploma just because their name's in there. Because if they don't graduate enough people, not everybody, but if they don't graduate enough people, then they don't get funding and all that. They get shut down. You know, the type of place I was over there. And yeah, I remember in English class, they made us read something called The Bite of a Mango.
Right, I've heard of it.
It's a great book. I'd recommend looking into it.
I probably heard of it from you, to be honest.
Yeah, you remember, right?
So, you know, Billy Boy is from Seattle, right? Where the Seattle Space Needle is, right? So you make of that what you will. I don't know if you catch my drift here, but
I understand what you're saying. We'll inject them with it. We'll inject them with the drift. You know, it's funny, in elementary school, one of my teachers, I remember his name is Mr. Gates.
who?
I had a teacher named Mr. Gates.
Interesting.
I also had, you want to hear something real interesting? This is before the Matrix even came out. When I was a little kid, also in elementary school, and a different one after. For some reason, they were doing all types of weird IQ tests and all types of shit on me. And yeah, it was a couple of them, and they were named Mr. and Mr. Anderson.
Right.
You know, before the Matrix and anything like that. I'm like, okay. So I showed it to them. They're like, okay, how the fuck? Back to the drawing board, huh?
Back to the drawing board with the words you've heard a million times before.
Yeah, exactly.
Good song. All right. So yeah, tree of life going into the DNA spiral. And the third spark brings the two-stranded DNA in a single strand. Oh, I said the D word. You know, I got to get the list of all the words you got to just not say in order to exist on this platform without a heavily banned in the Shadows channel.
Oh, yeah. So they can go fuck
There is a
themselves
list.
either way.
It does exist. I'm pretty sure the guy to ask at one point was what's his name? I forget his name. He's got a huge fucking channel now, though.
How you been doing with Pineal?
Oh, Dane Collins.
You've been doing Pineal.
Yeah,
You've
what?
You've been taking care of yourself.
For the most part, you know, I got some shit. I got real life to attend to, like anyone else. But yeah, maybe some more than others in some ways, and then you know, not as much in other ways. So,
How's the health? Because I know you're always deep into, you know, like
yeah, I got some health issues I need to attend to, but for the most part, I'm good. I'm very
no,
resilient.
I'm talking
you know
like
what
the
I'm saying?
diet and that.
Oh yeah, well, I went veg for January, and then I totally kind of fell off in February, especially after the last couple weeks. But
How's
you know,
your
I want to get
monetary
into seldom, like just a good quality like dose of, you know, good quality, say like for instance maybe grass-fed, you know, bison, organic bison, maybe on a weekly basis, just once a week, and that having that kind of be my and kind of having it more of like a sacred dietary inclusion to my, you know, to what I eat into my diet, and then kind of being veg for the rest of the other days. But
how about your monetary situation?
Monetary could be better, man. I got some shit to work out. You know, I got real life.
Have you
to
been working?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
I know what you mean.
I haven't been receiving.
But you have
compensation
everything
last
taken
week.
care of either way, right?
Yeah, dude. I wish you would have been. I wish you would have been on the first stream, man, because I was touching on some interesting stuff. I don't know if you were here. And then I was streaming, and there were these cops eating right next to me. These 3 cops, and right before that, there was.
Bro, no shit, bro. Last time I went outside, I was in the vehicle in the car or whatever, right? And I'm I'm right in front of, you know, you have to. There's different paths you can go towards that. But either way, yeah, I seen someone took down the, you know, the traffic light. Like literally, the whole pole was down. There's cops outside of it and all that. Cops around and yeah, because some idiot goes and takes down the traffic light.
Oh, maybe they're just gonna, make a good thing out of it. You know, put up some purple lights. You know, for
Yeah,
some.
there we go.
Yeah, you know. So carpe diem. You gotta make the best out of a bad opportunity. I'm sure it wasn't
Yeah, so it was
intentional to
great.
put up
Like, you know,
purple
I
lights.
took a picture of it. I could show you right now if you want. And it
You
was
know about the
like,
purple lights?
yeah, I could show you purple
You know
and
about
red.
the purple light agenda, the purple street light agenda,
No, it's beyond that. But either way, I took a picture of the cops looking at me, and you know,
optogenetics, and all that.
someone took down the traffic light. Yeah.
All right. Well, the cat's here, so I'm gonna finish this. Get over here. Get over here. Before I get out of here. Get over here before I get out of here. The Merkaba can also be used to transcend other dimensions and realities, a symbol which takes the shape of stars believed to be a divine vehicle made entirely of light and designed to transport or connect the spirit and body to higher realms. Here you got the cellular, duplication. Then the 16 makes the Ouroboros. Back to 1. Got your egg of life there. Cocoon. Follow the white rabbit. Looking like Donnie Darko right there.
No, but that's the green owl actually. Back, turning into a butterfly.
And then the metamorphosis into the butterfly. Like how Musk claims that they can change you into a freaking butterfly with the right DNA sequence.
Pineal, I can share with you a really good documentary you're gonna love. You can play this on your channel after too. It's something called the Phoenix Program. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, drop it. So Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's another guy who passed. Donald Sutherland passed just a few months ago. They said he was also the dude in Hunger Games. And they hit us with more of the Hunger Games symbolism. I think it was at the Grammys with some of their attire there. I don't know if any of you guys caught that, but.
I put a project in your hands in the private channel. Do you want to pull something that up? You know, so you're getting into this kind of shit. But really, it's an old, hard to find one, Pineal. You get me, brother.
So the jellyfish are transparent and they shine from the inside out. So this is like symbolizing their rebirth to transhumanism. Not so much the rebirth of the actual jellyfish, but rather, the human race, rather. Or what was once the human race is what I should say. More appropriate, I guess. Drop it in the private chat.
I did already.
Oh, okay. So of course you got some dangerous words there, of course. And again, we're just reviewing videos here, folks. I'm reviewing content, but you can read that. I'm sure you have eyes to see. So, and I mean, again, I'm not agreeing with that. As you can read at the bottom scroll bar, fair use commentary. We don't agree with everything that we're watching here. This is just
Yeah, I know.
a
That's how
review,
I'm saying, like,
a reaction.
dig
This is
deeper into it.
reaction content. All right,
Watch
hashtag reaction content.
Watch this old documentary, a little bit of it before you have to leave, right?
I got it here.
Give me a minute.
That's a great video. Can you share that link too? But you don't gotta worry about links I send you. Just letting you know, you can see your screen share on that. At least we have the clock on at 95%. We got crickets now. Right? Cricket.
My bad. I had to take a leak.
I'm about to get out of here. What were you saying though? Oh, we're at 3 hours and 2 minutes, dude. Damn it.
I was gonna say if you want to play like maybe the first minute or so of the documentary I put there.
All right, another thing with 3 stars, but a detailed documentary describing the reasons, methods, abilities, and executions of top-level CIA and Black Ops military and government programs stemming from Operation Paperclip, Stasi scientist technologies, and implemented into U.S. operation for use in controlling politicians and the general population in order to keep certain Black Ops programs funded using methods such as under-aids, schmexual blackmail on politicians with MK Ultra mind control, sex slaves, and extremely low-frequency radio waves to keep the general citizenry under mind control, among various other methods. So I'm guessing this is probably long. And I'm guessing it's an audiobook.
No, it's an old documentary that's hard to find. I'm telling you.
Well, this is what it just hit me with.
Say proceed.
Interesting. What's going on here, though?
It's fine, bro. Proceed with it.
The fuck is this?
I'm telling you, I vetted it. You're fine.
Yeah, it's not letting me. So.
Say you have to click the box. Don't warn me again. No, man. Click the box. Now proceed.
What is it with this site exactly? It says I have to download Opera GX in order to access it.
That shouldn't be normal. I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah, well, maybe maybe they don't want it to happen, sir.
Try to refresh it and do it again. It should. I could play it right now.
All right, well, why don't you do that then, sir? Probably be easier. And then I'm out of
Try
here.
it again. Well, try it again because that's strange. I've never seen that. That's really quite funny. Maybe go. Why is it? I think it might be an ad blocker you have.
Oh.
Yeah, now it's working. Warning to more sensitive viewers.
Have you ever played
Dirty
this?
Secret War. Yes, man. I played it multiple times for people.
All right.
On my live and everything. Yeah. I want to play something I wouldn't.
The Vietnam War was the formative experience for a generation of CIA and military intelligence personnel involved in the Phoenix program. They viewed the military defeat in Vietnam as a betrayal on the home front, a loss of will by domestic political enemies, not a military failure against a nationalistic revolution fought as a guerrilla war. The Phoenix program, assassinating suspected VC sympathizers in a systematic manner, worked well and is the blueprint for the current black operation, targeting thousands of loyal Americans using state-of-the-art microwave and radio frequency radiation weapons.
So I don't know on the earlier stream if you saw the little video that I played from Enemy of the State, right? With Gene Hackman actually talking about this exact thing, right? So the video, if you haven't seen it, is the movie. I mean, if you haven't seen it,
That's hilarious. You see how it all ties back.
right? Well, here, I wouldn't want to play that clip there, but the one that I let me see, it was a short. And this is interesting also because, you know, in the movie, it's about the murder of this politician. Here, I'll just show this one because the guerrilla
You know,
war.
in guerrilla warfare, you try to use your weaknesses as strengths.
Such as?
Well, if they're big and you're small, then you're mobile and they're slow.
So let's listen to more of this, though, first. I don't want to get
Motivation to suppress domestic dissents and to assassinate loyal American opposition stems from the perception of dissent against the war as treason. This philosophy is stated very clearly in the Mind War paper written by Michael Aquino. The Department of Defense has a huge stake in futuristic technology that kills by ionizing and non-ionizing radiation, leaving little or no trace. The indiscriminate killing of the...
I'm pretty sure you know a good amount about Aquino, right, sir? The founder of the Temple of Set.
Yeah, you know, in Egyptian mythology and that Set and Osiris.
Right, and he was also the very high-ranking officer as well. So
Phoenix program continues on American soil. The terms soft kill, slow kill, and silent kill
He
refer to
ruled
the
over the
in
underworld,
conflicts short of war and the small wars of the future. The counterinsurgency doctrine has now been applied to the home.
he was pretty good friends with Mr. Church of Satan also. What's his face?
Oh, the Council of
LaVey.
Set or whatever they call it.
Yeah, Anton LaVey. Well, Zena LaVey.
And the guy with the weird eyebrows.
Well, that is
Not
him.
not
That's
Anton LaVey, but the other guy.
that's
Like
Aquino. Aquino is the guy with the eyebrows.
Aquino, yeah, with the
So the
eyebrows.
perceived betrayal of the military in Vietnam will not be repeated. The generation of CIA and military intelligence, led by Shackley, Helms, Casey, Singlab, Secord, John B. Alexander, Michael Aquino, Paul Vallely, and others, have built the perfect...
And remember, Casey was the one who famously quoted that we'll know our misinformation war is complete when everything that the American public believes is false. So
beast, using selective assassination that leaves no trace.
who's
The ability to
Casey?
cull the human herd.
William Casey, he was a former CIA director. He was the one who famously quoted that we'll know that our campaign is successful when everything that the American public believes is false. That's what he said. That's the quote. Not perfectly verbatim, but it's essentially what he said.
With silent kill technology allows a few personalities to remake the entire society in their own image. Extremely low frequency technology slowly drives the target crazy with silent sound, similar to the CIA MK-Ultra psychiatrist Ewan Cameron's psychic driving technique used to break down the target's personality. The new buzzwords at the Pentagon are synthetic telepathy and psychotronics. Another means of attack on targets is the Smirnoff patent that uses subliminal suggestion to manipulate human behavior. This patent was purchased by the remote viewing company SciTech Corporation. Military intelligence officers involved in developing these non-lethal weapons also control SciTech. Emotional manipulation is accomplished using Dr. Michael Persinger's work to remotely project emotional states that the brain
Back into the person, bro.
trains or locks onto
Yeah,
in
remember
ways. One
Persinger?
can
Of
broadcast
course,
rage or
bro.
fear at an individual target to manipulate and control them. As if these methods were not enough to torture and murder people, add to this nightmarish toolbox active gang stalking. CIA-created cults and other cause-oriented groups are used by actively harassing them in public in a neutralization technique described in counterintelligence operations manuals that are aimed at enemy agents. In the race to develop a new weapon, it has always been necessary to test it on human beings. Perfecting the latest weapons designed to kill slowly and silently, as well as perfecting the process of controlling the human mind, are no different. Once the weaponry has been perfected on these few thousand people, the same techniques will be applied en masse to the general population, and then to humanity as a whole. MKUltra was the secret CIA crash program to develop techniques to control the human mind. By the end of the Korean War, 70% of the 7,000 U.S. prisoners of war had signed confessions, 15% cooperated fully, and only 5% steadfastly refused confession or indoctrination. Professors Wolf and Hinkle submitted a secret report to Director of Central Intelligence Alan Dulles about communist methods of brainwashing that was the definitive work on the subject in 1953. It stated that no drugs or machines were used. Intense psychological pressure and human weakness were the key, beginning with solitary confinement. Guards constantly reminded the prisoner that he was totally cut off from outside support, ordered him to stand for long periods, dictated the positions allowed for sleep, waking him if he moved while sleeping, banned all outside stimuli such as books, conversation, or news of the outside world.
Welcome back.
Freedom war. Conspiracy. Resist, 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 resist.
After 4 to 6 weeks, the prisoner would break down. Quote, he weeps, he mutters, and prays aloud in his cell. At this stage, the interrogation began in a special room. The guard told him that he knew his own crimes all too well. The prisoner is in the position of trying to prove his innocence to he knew not what. The interrogator and the prisoner bond in their shared ransacking of the captive's soul. As the interrogation proceeded, the prisoner realized that he could only end his ordeal with a full confession. Quote, the prisoner feels that something must be done to end this. He must find a way out. According to a KGB man, more than 99% of prisoners sign a confession at this stage. Then the subject was either shot or sent to a labor camp after sentencing. Chinese techniques would move on to re-education of prisoners by moving them into a group cell for political indoctrination. Incessant study of Marx and Mao, lectures, and self-criticism led to political conversion by group pressure. Prisoners demonstrated their commitment by ferociously attacking any deviations. Constant intimacy with prisoners who reviled him for his resistance pushed the prisoner beyond his emotional endurance. As the prisoner conformed, his cellmates gave increased acceptance and esteem, which reinforced his commitment to the party, for he learned that only his acceptance allowed him to live successfully in the cell. In contrast, the American mind control effort was a mini Manhattan Project with the conviction that the keys to brainwashing lay in technology. The agency's brainwashing experts gravitated to people in the mold of the brilliant and sometimes mad scientists, obsessed by the wonders of the brain. In 1953, CIA officer Richard Helms chose Dr. Sidney Gottlieb to run the technical service staff. The TSS, through the Office of Research and Development, was given the job of developing poisons to assassinate political opponents, truth serum drugs for interrogating spies, and hypnotic techniques to create unwitting double agents, couriers, and robot assassins. Dr. Gottlieb used Nazi scientists and their state-of-the-art mind control techniques that had been perfected in concentration camps using victims of the Holocaust. General Dwight D. Eisenhower gave his personal approval to exploit the work and research of the Nazis in the death camps. The German doctors were brought to the U.S. and went to work for Project Paperclip. These men were insulated against war crimes charges. The Nuremberg prosecutors were shocked that the U.S. authorities were using German doctors despite their criminal past. Under the leadership of Dr. Struckhold, 34 scientists accepted contracts from Project Paperclip and were moved to Randolph Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. These personalities began to work on human radiation studies, aviation medicine, microwave technology, and MKUltra mind control experiments. The authorization to hire these Nazi scientists came directly from the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The top military brass stated that they wished to exploit these rare minds. Operation Paperclip eventually recruited 9,000 Nazi scientists and technicians to help the U.S. destroy the USSR. Some of these scientists were known as programmers, people skilled in the art of breaking down and controlling the human mind. Dr. Joseph Mengele and others experimented extensively with children and adults using mescaline, electroshock therapy, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, torture.
I'm just gonna say on record, mescaline doesn't sound like such a bad deal there. I'll take that.
Rape, starvation, and
give me some mescaline.
Trauma bonding in an effort to control the human mind. Dr. Mengele was so successful using the technique of trauma bonding that
I actually had a great morning adventure picking morning glories, actually, completely randomly. Didn't know I would stumble upon a field of morning glories, but now I know where to go to pick morning glories. So I'm going to potentially make me some morning glory tea here really soon in the near future. It's been a long time.
You gotta be careful with that.
Why is that?
Well, I'm not sure, like, with maybe, like, most likely, like, in the seeds or something, right?
No, I'm not talking about the seeds. I'm talking about the flowers, dude. I mean, I used to use the seeds. I used to use the flowers also, but I don't remember just like chomping away at them, but earlier I was just chomping away at them. You know, I had 3 here,
Where is
3
it, like
there.
LSA or something?
Yeah, it's LSA. It's the sister. You know, it's the, some would say mother, but it's not, you know, ergotamine. It's not ergot, but it is morning glory. So there's an name that's called morning glory. So if you ever find some beautiful morning glory literally blooming as the sun's rising, try some. Just pick some, try them, see how it fits on you. The thing is, if you just eat them whole, though, it does.
I've experimented with stuff like that before.
There is a little bit of a throat burn, so it's like if you can eat it with something. Like I was thinking, man, just throwing it into some fruit. In general, I really want to get into eating flowers, man. I mean, I was kind of browsing around on IG,
Even like a
remembering.
fucking dandelion, right? Like back in the Great Depression, you know, people had
I
to
mean, you
do
can
like
just buy flower. Like the only store I seen recently that had like a little variety thing was like, I think I was at Whole Foods, and they have this, like, you know, you could just buy for $3 to like $6, you know, just this little package of a variety of flowers. And yeah, you could put it on anything, dude, in or on anything. But ideally, I think it'd be good in, like, you know, a fruit salad or in a smoothie or something if you blended it. But yeah, just say like a fruit salad with flowers in it, or a regular salad with fruit with flowers in it. Yeah, you could throw dandelions in there. You could throw, you know, probably everything in there. Hibiscus. You could probably throw some morning glories in there. Add some
it's all nice
psychoactive
and dandy. Yeah.
elements. But
What about sunflower?
sunflowers, I don't know if you can. I guess you could eat sunflowers, probably, considering you could eat sunflower oil, but it's not the best
You
oil.
can fry. You can fry sunflowers though.
You could fry them all, probably. Why not? But yeah, you could eat a lot of flowers, man. There's a lot of edible
But
flowers.
it's like a mushroom, right? Like you got to know what you're doing. You know, you don't
Survivors
have to
today
put
still
your
exhibit.
hand on the stove. You know,
I take
like,
mushrooms every day in an extreme microdose. I mean, I basically take medicinal mushrooms in my pineal powder every day almost, except for the days I forget to take it. But it's such a microdose because I have so much other stuff in there that you know. But I add some of this lion's mane powder I have in there, and I add some this blend that's got, like, you know, all 7 mushrooms, like, you know, turkey tail, I think, and lion's mane, reishi, maitake, some other ones.
I hear you. You know, like we live in different environments, Pineal. You know what I mean? And it's like where you're at, it's probably nice and warm and shit. Over here, it's -14.
Yeah, here it's probably about 60 something right now. It's a little bit. It's
Yeah,
a
we're in
little bit.
Celsius, right? So if you do the conversion from -14 to Celsius, I'll tell you what it is.
Wait, what was I looking for, man? Yeah, so I want to kind of play a little bit more.
You're hidden and they're exposed. You only fight battles.
-14, it'd be 6.8 Celsius in your temperature. Yeah, 6.8.
You know, maybe I shouldn't play that.
Yeah.
Leadership of Dr. Affection for
Oh yeah, so I'm going to play a little bit more of this, and then
referring to Mengele as
probably get out of here soon.
Beautiful Joseph. Dr. L. Wilson Green was a Jewish doctor who the Nazis coerced to participate in their experiments at Auschwitz. This individual, whose code name was Dr. Green, came to the U.S. after World War II and began to experiment on adults and children for the military and CIA. The military and CIA copied the Nazi methodology and began numerous programs of their own. The first CIA program was known as MK-Ultra. The MK is an abbreviation for the German words for mind control. By 1953, the CIA, U.S. Navy, and U.S. Army Chemical Corps were conducting their own narco-hypnosis programs on prisoners, mental patients, foreigners, ethnic minorities, and those classified as sexual deviants. To avoid confusion, the dozens of mind control operations will be referred to generically as MK-Ultra. According to MK-Ultra documents and sources, the methodology of mind control works best when severe trauma is administered by the age of 3 years old. Severe trauma, such as rape, applied at the age of 3, will cause the personality to split or dissociate in an attempt to shield the mind from memories of events too painful to endure. The psychiatric terms are multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder and can be produced accidentally or purposefully. The 3 Faces of Eve is the true story of multiple personality disorder created by childhood abuse. Psychic trauma and creation of multiple personalities was eventually codified by programmers into a standard methodology and is typically accomplished by forcing children to observe and participate in the ritual sacrifice of animals and humans, and inducing further psychic trauma by the means of rape and other horrors. The trauma causes the dissociation. This functions much like the partitioning of a hard drive in a computer. The dissociative state is used as an opening to hypnotically induce an alternate shell personality. The programmer will use hypnosis and triggers to call forth the created personality, known as an alter personality. Only 20% of the general population is easily hypnotizable, but trauma at an early age makes people vulnerable to dissociation and thus easily hypnotizable. Typically, the programmer might wear a costume, such as a rabbit suit, and sacrifice a rabbit in front of the child victims before they are physically traumatized. The image of the rabbit, a phrase from Alice in Wonderland, or similar paired images are used as the triggers to call forth the alter personality. The method works best when the trauma is repeated around 6 years of age. A few years later, the child victim's IQ test and personality test are evaluated to determine whether the child may be trained in assassination, sexual blackmail, drug courier, or other role. The subject can be hypnotized and used for operations, but would only be consciously aware of the sense of lost time. Dr. Sidney Gottlieb employed these early programmers and concentrated on the use of LSD for mind control and exotic poisons and drugs for political assassinations. He personally gave LSD to an unknowing fellow scientist, Dr. Frank Olson, who worked for the Army Chemical Corps Special Operations Division at Fort Detrick. His job was developing biological weapons. Dr. Olson committed suicide by jumping through the window of a 10th floor hotel. Dr. Gottlieb concealed his actions, and the Olson family was unaware of the cause of his suicide until 27 years later when the facts emerged during a congressional hearing on CIA abuses. The link between Gottlieb and Olson illustrates how the different elements of biological and chemical weapons, radiation testing, and MKUltra were all intertwined. Dr. Ewan Cameron was president of the American and Canadian Psychiatric Associations. He ran the Allen Memorial Institute, which was founded in 1943 with funds from the Rockefeller Foundation. Nazi paperclip scientists made their way into the CIA and military-sponsored mind control programs here in the United States and Canada. Some of these scientists were friends of Dr. Cameron. Money for Cameron's operation came from the CIA and was funneled through the Cornell Society for the Investigation of Human Ecology. The systematic annihilation, or depatterning, of a subject's mind and memory was accomplished with overdoses of LSD, barbiturates sleep for 65 days at a time, and electroshock therapy at 75 times the recommended dosage. Psychic driving, the repetition of a recorded message for 24 hours a day, programmed the emptied mind. The Canadian government settled a class action lawsuit by 250 former patients of Dr. Cameron decades later, but no person or institution has ever been disciplined or punished for these activities. Linda McDonald was 25 years old in 1963 when Dr. Cameron treated her for mild postpartum depression. She received 102 electroshock therapy treatments, 80 days of drug-induced sleep, and emerged completely depatterned, essentially like a newborn, totally incontinent, unable to state her name or recognize her husband and children. She had to relearn how to drive, cook, read, and use a toilet. Eventually, unlike many of the patients of Dr. Cameron, she made a complete recovery. Cameron was the premier psychiatrist of the 20th century. He had studied Nazi scientists at the Nuremberg trials and later replicated many of their methods and sought their assistance in the race to control the human mind. Cameron's mind control experiments were one program out of many run by the CIA, Navy, Air Force, Army, and others. Although many parallel operations were occurring in the U.S., none of them was ever discovered or prosecuted. These programs were run by men of the likes of Morris Allen, Dr. L. Wilson Green, Dr. Martin Orne, Dr. Stephen Aldrich, Dr. James Hamilton. These and other American and foreign-born programmers were supervised by Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, who was in turn supervised by Richard Helms and Alan Dulles, the director of the Central Intelligence Agency.
I was tired, I was depressed, my back was hurting. And so he said to the Holy Father, why don't you go to Montreal and visit this Dr. Ewan Cameron, this famous man who has all of these accolades, and have an assessment. So we went. My medical file even says that I took my guitar with me. And that was the end of my life. Within 3 weeks, Dr. Cameron decided to call me in a schizophrenic and shipped me up to the sick room. I was in a coma for 86 days. 86 days of unbroken sleep. Total comatose state. I had to be toilet trained. I was a vegetable. I had no identity. I had no memory. I'd never existed in the world before. Like a baby. Just like a baby that has to be toilet trained. Pictures, and I know who that is, who they are, but I don't remember them as my children at all. I mean, I know that they came from my body, but there's no, that's all. I don't know, and that's because I was told that. So these are my children.
Linda McDonald would hound the federal government for 4 years before finally in 1992, Ottawa grudgingly agreed to compensate her and some of Dr. Cameron's other victims $100,000 each.
Richard Helms ran the Dirty Tricks Department after the Bay of Pigs and became director of Central Intelligence in 1966. He destroyed the archive on MKUltra when he left in 1972 and successfully covered up the crimes of MKUltra. Helms was a product of the Eastern establishment. His grandfather was president of the Federal Reserve. Helms, like Gottlieb, was a Machiavellian character who used paperclip scientists and would stop at nothing to win. He advocated low-intensity warfare, transmitting strategic subliminal messages.
Can I tell you something funny, Neil?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, my grandma was in the hospital the other day.
Terrible.
She's old, you know what I mean? She was born like 1942 or 43 or whatever. And yeah, she was in the hospital, and so I got a word of that. So what happened was, like, I called up the hospital and showed up and talked to the doctors and the nurses and that. And in a way, I made them know, like, you better release my grandmother.
Yeah, dude. I mean, medical.
And guess what? Guess what happened the next day? They let her go, and they didn't do anything invasive to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, medical error is the #2 cause of accidental death allegedly in the country. And I knew that was how ultimately it was going to be with with my grandma. I'm pretty sure it was the case with my other. Oh no, my other grandma might have been in the home when it happened. They had moved to like New York for years, so I didn't really get to see her for the last several like years or whatever. But they always lived really close, And I grew up with that set of grandparents too. My dad's parents, but I lost my dad in
Yeah,
2010. But
it's on my dad's side too. Like like my mother was an only child, and like her father was never in her life, and she lost her mother when she was 12 years old, and that. So I'm talking about my dad's family with my grandmother, and like my dad, like he's like, I always answer the phone. So I answer the phone. He's like, your grandmother raised you guys when your parents weren't around, kind of thing. So at that point, I had to do something.
yeah.
But now she's back home and she's feeling all right.
Oh, that's old. What am I doing?
Yeah.
That's
But
not right down
eventually,
there.
everyone has to leave from this, mortal plane, or it's a part of life. When they're ready, right?
My bad. I'm just fixing something here.
Nah, I hear you. But I'm
What do you call
saying,
it?
yeah. How old is your grandma? I
The one
believe
that just
so.
passed. She was the one that just passed. You mean?
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, whatever.
She would have been 88 on New Year's Eve, but she was 87. So you know what I mean? That's like decent life. It's just it's more so the people that I mean, even though that fucked with me for a while, and I'm still processing that grief. It's not something you ever finish processing. The grief. I don't think. But
Did your grandma raise you? Not raise you. She was
yeah.
there, like growing up
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
kid.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the same thing on my
she was my
end.
second mom, dude. She was my second mom. So,
Yeah, for real.
but yeah, so being that the family really shrunk just over the last few years, 3 grandparents in like 3 years, something like that. And I'll never really know, right? But the one thing they did all have in common is they all did get some treatments there, you know what I mean? So I didn't even know that about my closest one, the one that passed recently, until pretty late in the game. She finally came out one time and told me basically that she got a hot dose there. I think she said 1, and then
She revealed it to you.
yeah, it hit me hard, dude. That shit hit me hard. That shit hit me hard, man. But it's still something I'm processing, and then ultimately I'll never know, right? With the 3 of them, my dad's parents and my mom's mom, all within a few years, but they all had that in common, and that all did just happen, and there were all kinds of other issues, obviously, with but all of them, because they were all older, so they were all in their 80s, really. So yeah, that's good. At least I got some decent what do you call it, genetics there, because well, I guess my dad doesn't really count because he did what he did, so that kind of doesn't count really. But naturally, my other grandparent, my mom's dad, didn't live too long. He was like 74 maybe. So I mean, that's decent, but that's still under the age limit. He had all kinds of shit. So I think he smoked too much when he went to service. I think even more so than that, when he worked for Revlon, he was a Revlon makeup, like a big makeup dude in like New York and shit. And he would hit all these clubs, dude. He was a singer. He sang in all these clubs in New York, and and then he did Love Radio with my grandma, or Love Connection, whatever, with my grandma. And then I think that was when they moved down here. And then they did, yeah, Love Connection. They have people together still that are still together. Like this one couple that's been together for like 50 something years. It's crazy. But yeah, then Catalog Connection she had was I wanted to show you that video with Jerry Springer. It's funny how this girl has as many viewers as I do watching her stream right now, and she's got like 14,000 subs. It's pretty funny. But what was I going to look up? Oh yeah, the part with Jerry Springer. There was a time when I went on the show to advertising. I did a bit for what do you call it? Baklava. I said I'm the official baklava taster, and something. And my name is Sean. I've been eating baklava since the day that I was born, or something like that. It's fucking corny, you know. Let me see if the Jerry Springer bit's on here. If that's a different video.
Spinach and feta cheese.
It's Grandma Pineal, and that's Florence Henderson. That's the Brady Bunch chick. And then that's throwback. It's my little sister when she was a jit. And there's Jerry Springer giving my grandma a shout out.
Offers frozen entrees that you'll adore.
Hi, Cookie. Great to be spending time with you again. As you know, I'm wearing 2 hats these days. The daily talk show is going strong, and I'm also promoting my first CD. It's called Dr. Talk. Happy holidays, everyone. Now back to Cookie and the catalog collection.
At Pollo Tropical, we believe sunshine makes the perfect.
But yeah, so and then just all these fucking ads. That was her thing, you know. She would just have all these different. She had big clients. I mean, clearly though, like Pollo Tropical. That was before Pollo Tropical was like huge. They were still pretty big though. But
Muy bien, muy comita.
Muy bien. What's Springer's gematria? Holy shit! I mean, Jerry Springer probably equals 666 or some nonsense like that. I'm sure.
I can see his little horns coming off his head either way.
Or 56 or. But yeah, super random. Is there any? Am I on this one? Let me see if I'm on this one. Hold on. I'd be such a jit if I was on this. I would be such a jit.
Buddy, no, it's because people put you into that. You know, Access Raplo is on Jerry Springer too. So now there's 2 people on here apparently who's been on Jerry Springer.
Axis Ratblood was on Jerry Springer?
Yeah, something about like a sex slave.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not even joking. So it's like, how are 2 people talking about Jerry? We were just talking about this before I came on here.
Wow, dude, throwback. Throwback.
You know, I remember at school, yeah, I used to play this degenerate. What about a Maury Povich? And the lie detector says, go fuck yourself. Well, yeah. Yeah, I have something funny to play if you like. We'll go doctor. You want to do something real hilarious? Here, I'll put it in private.
Oh yeah, I meant to watch this really quick. I'll try to watch just part of it because I want to get out of here. It's fucking late, dude. It's almost 4:20. So toast to that.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Bro, get some rest. 4:20 at what time? My time?
Yeah, no, but this video is really good. I was enjoying it. Well, we could finish it maybe another time because it's over 2 hours. 64. So.
Not this one. I have something funny. It says about Jerry, right? I have another one in the private. It's the funny Dr. Phil thing.
True. I don't even know if this is worth watching, but he mentions the death in threes thing that I was just talking about. Like with Gene Hackman and Michelle Trachtenberg, and I'm guessing the other one he's going to mention is probably what's her name? That sang "Killing Me Softly." I'm blanking.
Yeah, Jackman.
Flack, Roberta Flack, I think.
I don't know. But I don't know all these like celebrities' names and shit.
But yeah, I was saying, "Killing Me Softly," and then Gene Hackman. They're hacking man's genes, killing him softly. Let me see what Black Balloon was saying though. He's got 77.7 thousand subscribers. That's crazy. And this video is 17 minutes and 19 seconds, and it's 4:19. I guess it'd be 7:19 wherever the fuck 3 time zones east of Florida is. The middle of the fucking ocean.
Yeah, how come you guys are on Eastern time in Florida?
It's Black Balloon.
Say that again?
How come you guys have the same Eastern? Like, it doesn't even make sense if you think about it. Like, how are you both on Eastern time?
So we've been born.
I don't know, man. I don't know what anything is. Honestly, I was connecting this, if he's even connecting it at all.
So before we continue on with Gene Hackman, I do want to listen to the sheriff talk about the case as well. We got to mention the other 2 deaths that were very close to Gene Hackman. In fact, they both happened just a couple days after Gene Hackman would have died. Because as we know, Gene Hackman was...
Well, no, I think they said she died the same day, right? Well, Gene Hackman supposedly was dead for like a while. Like supposedly he was found dead, but his body was already decomposing and shit. So
on the 26th, but they say He probably died about 8 to 9 days before that date. So he would have been the first of the 3 to actually die. This is Michelle Trachtenberg, if I'm saying that correctly. Now, her death is almost the same, completely unknown of how she died. And a lot of Hollywood deaths come out like this, especially when, they're like done in threes. Also, Roberta Flack. Now, Roberta Flack was 88 years old. She died, I think, was the 24th of February. Now, it could have been a little bit different on her side. I think she had ALS.
So it's interesting because she just died at 88, right? I'm pretty sure the Pope right now is 88. He just turned 88. He's actually just a little bit younger than my grandma, who would have just turned 88 on New Year's Eve. And so it's interesting with the 88 currently, not because of the Pope, obviously more so. So we're gonna see, obviously, if the Pope's gonna croak, because they keep talking about the Pope with the pneumonia, and he was in critical condition, and then he came back from critical condition, and he was
I
in
did
critical
hear
for a
something
while.
about that. I don't really pay attention to news and stuff like
They
that.
even said he went into
Why would I
remission and was
care? How's
still
that
in
my concern? I don't give a fuck.
well, because the Pope's gonna croak soon, is what I'm getting
Everyone's
at.
gonna croak soon, eventually.
Yeah, well, some longer than others. I mean, some people are gonna live a long time, but I'm thinking
Some
the Pope
people,
not so much.
some people get to go on and do something.
Do you remember when I went on We Are Week TV and I predicted the Pope before, like a couple hours? It wasn't even a couple hours. It was like an hour and a half before.
Pineal, you predicted a bunch of stuff before. Yeah, I pay attention.
I wonder if I can still find that. I probably have it saved, dude.
While you look it up, why don't you play the one I put in the private? It's the funny thing with Dr. Phil. It's hilarious. If you want to play this fucking game, it's like, all right.
Oh, I'm in the wrong fucking. Wow, dude. Say what now?
It's in the private channel on stream. I can put it in the YouTube if that's easier for you.
All right, yeah, but I get the fuck out of here.
You know what? You'll just leave it there. I'm gonna let you go get some rest, bro. Thank you for having me, like usual. Nice to see you back, and much love and respect to you and your family and everybody.
All right, it's a short video, but Bum Fights creator kicked off Dr. Who the fuck is Bum Fights?
Yeah, after this one, yeah. Just watch it. Just watch.
This is random. The fuck
Just
is Bum
watch
Fights?
it, bro. It's funny. Like, look, people try trolling, right? It's
This
like
is
Jerry
16 years
Springer
old.
going on to Jerry Springer.
You're tripping me out with the. Then again, that was a really old video. So yeah, that I showed. That was random. That I showed that.
This is kind of old too. Watch it for a second.
Jesus Christ.
Now, I have to warn you, some of this footage that you're about to see is clearly inappropriate for young viewers. Please ask your children to leave the room. And I'm serious. You really don't want your kids watching this, and it's not going to be fun for you to see it. But we have to be aware of what's floating around out there and what our kids have access to. Okay, here is Ty defending his Bum Fights video.
I see homeless people.
That Brian
I'm
was
out in the streets. I'm looking for talent. I can smell it. I am doing a service to the homeless people. I'm turning these people into something special. I'm motivating them, inspiring them. I believe our customers are infatuated with watching our videos because there's a lot of people that are addicted to violence. They want to see homeless people doing crazy things, something that this world needs. For example, one guy, he was a crackhead and his teeth were bothering him, so we got him a pair of pliers and we ripped one of his teeth out. And he just wanted a bottle of JD. There are lines that I don't cross. I don't do hardcore porn and I don't deal with death footage. We don't just sit there and give him our pocket change and say good luck. We put him to work. There was a homeless guy. We said, what would you do if we gave you some money? He said, I'd eat a raw frog. So we went to the Asian market, got a raw frog, and he ate it on the sidewalk. We paid him $20. I've made multi-millions off the Bum Fights video series. I'm not surprised at my success. It's a sick world.
Stop the tape. Stop the tape. I don't want to talk to you.
Why not?
That's despicable. I don't want to talk to you.
If you think I exploit people, every time you bring a guest on the show, you exploit them and spread whatever problems they have to the whole world. You think that's helping them?
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. You can go.
You know what?
What are we watching?
Who do you think you are, huh?
Bye. Come on.
Huh? No, I'm not finished talking to you.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Sorry, but I just watched that footage, and that is absolutely despicable, and I refuse to publicize that.
I refuse to publicize it
about this ridiculous topic. I think what I saw on these screens is absolutely despicable. I think it's deplorable, and I think it is an insult to my intelligence and those of my viewers for somebody to stand up and say, I'm trying to help people by doing this.
Right.
You see how fucking fake people are? It's hilarious. This guy comes up dressed as Dr. Phil. He's like, you think I exploit people? You do the exact same thing. He's like, oh, we'll kick them off. And like, I don't publicize this shit while publicizing it, apparently, right?
That's what it seemed like, sir.
Sick fucking weirdos. But yeah, Pineal, it was great talking.
All right, you want to say hey to Jack really quick? He's backstage.
Oh, might as well then, yeah.
All right, Jack.
The judgment is to be made. We are to condemn the false judgment with righteous judgment, you idiot!
This is what I'm talking about, Jack. You're finally getting it.
What happened to conflicts, bro? Show the
You know, I don't know what happened to Conflicts, actually. I'm not sure what the fuck happened to Conflicts, man.
I think you got a cease and desist in the mail.
I don't know. I don't know what happened there, man.
I'm telling you, Calcott probably hired a lawyer and like gave him a cease and desist, through YouTube. I subpoenaed that. Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at 3 hours, 39 minutes, and 39 seconds.
All right, see you, buddy. Thank you again.